Hey guys, Gene Simmons here. Sorry that the audio is so bad in this episode. But you can't have the roses in life without the guns. So let's rock on.
Right, let's dive right into another edition of KissKast presents Guns and Roses. This is where we go through every single album by the hard-hitting LA rockers, Guns and Roses, and we rank them from worst to best. So just to give you a little rundown of our list of Guns N' Roses from worst to best. At number 5, the very worst, is GNR Lies. The EP, that's not very good at all. At number 4 is Use Your Illusions 1. At number 3 is Use Your Illusions 2. At number 2 is the Spaghetti Incident with a question mark. So it's more like the Spaghetti Incident. I'm Gonna Come. And at number 1 is, unsurprisingly, Appetite for Destruction. You might think, maybe looking through this list or hearing it, that, Spaghetti Incident must be pretty good. It's not the case. Not really the case, because for the most part, a lot of these albums have been very, very, very bad.
Very bad.
Very bad. Really bad, to be honest. But that might change today. Things might get evened out a little bit, because today we're coming to the end, sadly, of our journey with Guns N' Roses. It's been short but sweet. We're going to be reviewing the giant, the Titanic of records in many ways, Chinese Democracy. Out of curiosity, did either of you, do you know much about this album? Obviously, you know the lore, or you must know that there was this huge expectation behind it. But do you have any? What were your impressions of Chinese Democracy? Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I remember it being a thing. I remember reading classic rock magazines, and I remember reading a comic. Someone had made a comic strip making fun of how, I think the joke was, real Chinese Democracy would come before the album came.
What was that in?
It was in Classic Rock.
That was in Classic Rock magazine. Right, I'm Googling that straight away. So what was it? What am I looking at? Classic Rock comic strip.
There was like
mocking Chinese Democracy.
Each issue had,
they have comic
had one funny strip section.
I don't remember.
It was like 3 panels, maybe
Chinese
4.
Democracy. Do they have really racist caricatures of Chinese people in it?
Oh, it probably did. Yeah, it probably did. It was like
images.
It was like sort of cyanide and happiness art style. I'm not seeing it, Alexei.
There's one comic here.
No, it's not that. It's not like that Private Eye.
No, that's
an actual joke about. That's nothing to do with Guns N' Roses.
That is George W. Bush.
Okay.
And a dragon yelling "Democracy, freedom." It's pretty.
Anyway,
don't think it's that. Anyway,
I remember it being a big thing.
Shut up. Right, so we're moving on now to a little bit of background on this record.
Alex, do you remember anything about Chinese Democracy?
Oh yeah, sorry, Alex.
I think I was saying to you, I knew about the myth of Chinese Democracy and sort of like the legend of it, but in terms of the music, very little. I remember that it was a big thing that they put out the first single on Rock Band 2. It was like, oh, this is like the new thing that like bands are gonna like put out their music.
Well, they
through,
put the
Guitar Hero Rock
title
Band.
track on it.
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember that.
But the music itself, nope, nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Not one iota. Well, we'll get to it in a while, because I actually bought this album. I actually owned a copy of this record. And I think I knew 0 people that also owned this record. I think I might have been the only one that I can think of, at least in... Right, a little bit of background on this. Starting off, Gilby Clarke left the band.
Who's that?
He's the guitarist.
Oh, okay.
He replaced Izzy Stradlin.
Oh, are we doing
No, we're not doing one on him.
Okay.
No, I didn't see much point.
Okay.
Unless you really liked his rhythm guitar work on...
No, I didn't. Not really.
I'm glad you liked it a little bit.
Okay.
I remember you saying, like, if I could practice, I could maybe get as good as that. If I worked
I don't think I
hard,
said that.
6 hours a day,
No,
maybe one day.
doesn't sound
Can you
like
look at
me.
me, please?
No, because you're like leaning really
Sorry.
far forward.
Sorry.
You keep staring at
Alright.
me.
Yeah, it's Gilby Clark left. Oh dear. Not much for you to say about that. No.
No.
No. Can move on. Basically, after the previous record, the Spaghetti Incident, came out, Axl wanted to take the band in a new direction. He became obsessed with electronic and industrial rock, particularly the work of Nine Inch Nails, and wanted Guns N' Roses to move towards a more contemporary music direction. In this way, a lot of Slash's songs that he was writing and he was putting forward at that time, sort of got cut away. That he wasn't interested in them, and they were rejected, and eventually would end up on the first Slash's Snake Pit album, on the industrial thing. Because a lot of people, when they talk about this record, Chinese Democracy, they lean into the he was going that way since the 90s. It's a really like industrial record. I don't really hear a whole lot of that.
I read
Not a whole lot, little bits, little sort of the guitar tones are a little fuzzy and thin. Not really a huge amount, though, right?
I didn't hear. No, that didn't cross. The word industrial didn't cross my mind at all. Listening to this album, I read afterwards.
I think
that thing you just said.
Some of the bands that get put as industrial in general, I'm like,
like who?
Really? Like Filter, that industrial.
I don't know.
Like Nine Inch Nails, I sort of get, but even some later Ministry records, like they
people call them industrial.
Yeah, but they're more like some of them are just like straightforward, like thrashy.
I don't know.
Particularly the later ones. Kind of like, I mean, I feel like with maybe it's just the rock sort of journalists and stuff. They hear like a loop.
Maybe
they're like, sounds a bit like throbbing gristle. That.
Yeah, maybe hard rock journalists don't know much about electronic music, so they hear an electronic beat and they just
Probably
think
not.
Must be industrial.
Probably not.
I don't know. Alex?
I hear a little bit of industrial, but only on maybe the first 2 tracks. The second track. Dun, 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 dun. But that's it.
That's kind of new metal.
Really, really.
I've got new metal. It's like a corn riff, isn't it?
Yeah, but then it leads into we're going to talk about the track later, but it leads into this, I think a little bit what Danny's saying, where it's just rock with this sort of bassy electronic sound. We can just put it under industrial. I don't think, I'm sure he was inspired by it, but I don't think he nailed it or got it.
Okay, Alex, if you say so. If you say so. Moving on. Slash was a bit dejected by his songs, being rejected and not being included on this very fine album we're going to talk about. So he cheered himself up by creating the first ever Guns N' Roses pinball machine. To quote Slash, there hasn't been a really cool pinball machine in a long time. I've got a picture of it here. Alex, sadly, you can Google it if you like, but I've got it here. It's quite hard to fit because I felt if I stretched it sort of this way, it wouldn't make sense. But look at that. Look at that.
Alexei's staring at me like I'm supposed to say something about this.
All right. Well, how about we have a little closer look?
Got.
Zooming in. You got the gun. Shoots the pin.
I'm going to cut this bit out of the podcast.
I fucking cut out. Anyway, during this time, Guns N' Roses were invited to contribute to the Interview with a Vampire soundtrack. They did a cover of the Rolling Stones song "Sympathy for the Devil." Slash did not like the film, but Axl loved it. Which tracks? Have you seen the film? I have. It's sort of tracks. It's pretentious, dull. They were lacking a rhythm guitarist. And obviously, if they were going to go to the studio to record this, they needed someone to come in and fill Gilby Clark's, frankly, unfillable shoes. So instead, they got Paul Huge Tobias. Before you ask, if you go on the Wikipedia for him, the middle of his name, in quotation marks, is huge. So he's Paul Huge Tobias. He's average size man. I don't quite get it. It's never really explained why it's called Paul Huge Tobias. But there you go. Slash did not like Paul Huge Tobias at all.
I heard he hates him.
He hates him. Because Slash did a little solo on Symphony for the Devil. You know the original solo. It's like
just yeah.
Very sporadic. Paul Huge Tobias, without Slash knowing, tried to give you little answers on it, and he didn't like it. So Slash would go bow, and Paul Tobias would go Slash would go and Slash was like, I absolutely hate that. And also, Duff McKagan was not a fan of Paul Huge Tobias. To quote him, he said the music was going in a direction that was completely indulgent to Paul Huge Tobias. Axl had brought Paul Huge Tobias in and told us, Paul Huge Tobias is our new guitar player. There was no democracy there. And that's when Slash started going, fuck this. What? This is his band now? Paul Huge Tobias, this is his band now?
The fucking Paul Huge Tobias.
It belongs to Paul Huge Tobias.
I'm looking him up.
Huge guy. Like Hulk. Give me that guitar. For a couple of years, I'd show up at the studio at 10, and Axl would show up at 4 or 5 in the morning. So it's not going well. And to be honest with you, in general, it didn't go well with Paul Huge Tobias. And for a while, they considered not having him in the band. So they auditioned somebody else. I've covered my notes. But do you want to guess who it is that they brought in to try in a new one? Do you want me to give you a hint?
Yeah.
Give you a hint. More here now. Now we'll be coming back.
Mark Tremonti.
Yes, it was Mark. Nah, I'll give you another hint.
Zach Wilde.
No, it was Randy Rhoads.
Okay.
They brought him back from the dead.
Jake E. Lee.
It was Jake E. Lee. No, it was Tony Iommi. No, it was Zach Wilde. It was Zach Wilde. However, this didn't work out as it was too lead guitar players. Slash said it was too much shred. They were sort of shredding over each other.
Yep.
Typically for them, they are like a one. Here's your lead guitarist. Here's your rhythm guitarist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of a band. You know, there are no Iron Maiden. There are no Judas Priest.
No.
There are no Wishbone Ash.
No.
If you feel cupcake.
Don't touch me.
Oh, sorry. Got a wasp by your cock.
No, I don't.
Wait.
I do not have a wasp by my cock.
You have a couple. More than one.
Okay.
The song Slash had written for Guns N' Roses, like I said, they ended up being rejected and ended up on the Slash's Snakespit album. However, apparently Axl wanted them back. He changed his mind. He said, actually, I would like your songs. And Slash said, no, I've already recorded the album over the past 2 weeks. To which Axl said, impossible! You can't record an album in 2 weeks! As opposed to 13 years.
Yeah.
Which is far more reasonable. It's a far more reasonable thing to do.
When did the Slash album... Is
Drop.
that old, that album, that Slash...
Slash was still technically in Guns N' Roses when it came out.
Oh.
I had a bit of a listen to it, actually.
Me neither.
No, I have. I've had a little bit of a listen.
Okay.
It's kind of more Appetite. More like Appetite.
Well, then that's good. We
From
should do it one day.
Yeah. Maybe. I've had a little bit of a listen. It wasn't the worst. I've heard way worse. Izzy Stradlin came back briefly, but just in a writing capacity, as he had no interest in touring. So him and Duff wrote about 10 songs together. However, all of them were rejected by Axl. As a result, Izzy scuttled away back off into the distance. That Duff McKagan.
That's Paul Huge Tobias.
That picture of him. Oh god, he's pretty big. Oh god, he's enormous. Yeah, I think if you look at a picture of Paul Huge Tobias, he comes out of the phone. He's occupying his space. He's like gas. He just occupies every space he goes. Finding a new rhythm guitarist would prove to be a bit of a nightmare. Axl was very insistent on recruiting Paul Huge to Tobias, so eventually the rest of the band caved, and Paul Huge Tobias became a full-time member. Duff, Matt, you see they just couldn't get rid of him. He's that huge. Every time they just pushed him out of a room, there was still some of him left in. They'd get rid of him.
They'd find parts of him lying around the studio.
Just be like playing the guitar. Duff, Matt, and Slash were asked to do overnight rehearsals back. So because, by the way, it's worth mentioning, Axl is very much in charge. This is his dictatorship. So if he goes, "You're doing overnight rehearsals," they have to do the overnight rehearsals. Axl didn't attend. Also, it's not even noted whether Paul Huge Tobias was asked to attend these overnight rehearsals either. So it's not good, is it? It's almost like he's like, you just got to listen to his genius. He's got something. He'll come in, Paul Huge Tobias, and he'll make this happen.
Why did Axl like him so much?
They were friends from school, apparently. Okay. could he even play guitar?
He's a guitarist.
Could he even play guitar? Like, you learn! I got a song. It's fucking terrible. He's got something. They also, the rest of the band, disagreed with the new sort of, it says industrial, but the new direction, whatever you call it. Which is kind of interesting, because I would argue that, well, this is dating back a while before the finished product that we get, but I don't know about you guys, but I think that this sounds, at times, almost more akin to Appetite in a way, in terms of like the ferocity and the aggression. It's certainly not Nine Inch Nails. Anything like that. Alex, what do you think?
It's compared to Use Your Illusion, you mean?
Yeah, well, compared to, we're not counting the Spaghetti Incident, obviously, because that's like covers record. In terms of the studio records.
Yeah, there's less of that sort of slow down acoustic sound. There's still, a lot of drama and a lot of sort of a very, very pompous big sound. But yeah, I would agree it's closer to Appetite, but it's still a very different direction now. I think it comes from a very different place than Appetite.
There are certainly moments on this where I heard riffs, and I was like listening to some of these riffs and the way they're being played and stuff, and I was like, that sounds more like an updated version of Appetite than most of the stuff off either the Use Your Illusions records. What do you think, Danny?
I think it's just, we're going to get ahead. I don't think it's really similar to Appetite at all. I just think it's a bit better.
Yeah, not similar.
So we think that it's a bit similar.
Oh.
Just because the quality is a bit...
By the way, your headphones are flaking a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Would you like me to tape them up?
No, thank you. Let's just...
By the way, you spilled a bit of tea on your cock there. Let me give it a wipe.
Thanks.
That's probably what attracted the wasps. Slash and Matt then made the decision. That's Matt's sword.
Yes,
if you need a fucking reminder, by the way,
Who's Matt?
Supposed to do an Appetite on Decomposition on him. They made the decision to leave, and Slash left in 1996 and Matt in April 97. God, we're only on the year 1997. This comes out in 2008, man. Fucking hell. Matt was replaced by former Pearl Jam drummer Dave. I wrote his name phonetically, but I really don't think this is it. Abruzzes.
What is
Dave Abruzzes.
Abruzzes?
I put brackets though, great drummer. I put brackets, great drummer. Slash was replaced in January 1997 by former Nine Inch Nails touring guitarist Robin Thicke. Oh, pardon me. Now, let's already look at the shape of this lineup we have so far. Just in terms of influences, because I think it's already looking kind of mental, and then it would go to a completely insane place later on. Just the shape of the lineup. So already you've got Pearl Jam, Nine Inch Nails, Guns N' Roses, and Axl's mate Paul Huge Tobias in the mix, all making sounds together. Like, already it's looking a bit, a bit, well, I'm trying to think of the word, a bit, I don't know, a bit Picasso, a bit wonky. You get me?
Yeah, but similarly to how I feel about certain points on this album, I'll take it at
Yeah.
this point.
Look,
It's not been working.
I'm going to talk. I'm going to
Yeah.
talk about the lineup later on. On paper, the I guess what is the closest thing to the lineup on this record that we get.
Yeah.
On paper, it's almost like a super group, I think, in
Okay.
my view. But we'll get to that in a bit. With this lineup in place, Duff McKagan started to feel more and more like the band were just in it for the money. He didn't feel connected to this version of Guns N' Roses. To quote him, he said he got into the music out of the love for the music, and this new version just seemed to be about the money. So in August '97, he quit. So that's 3 members of a band leaving in a year, sort of consecutively, like one kind of after the other in a year. Like, I ain't really heard that. Like, have you ever, like, from any other band? Have you heard of that? Just like one by one, they're just dropping out, like dropping like flies.
I'm trying to think if there's any.
How do you think it reads, Alex? What do you think? How do you think it reads? I mean, it doesn't really. It bears a just go. It reads bad. It's terrible. It reads fucking terribly, right? Alex, what do you think?
Yes, I think you can read it as everyone was only in it for the money, because I'm sure a lot of money was being put on the table for either the tour or albums. But also, I'm guessing at this point that Guns N' Roses were just such a beloved name as well, to a lot of these people that, it's like playing for like your favorite team, like your childhood team. There's like part of you that might want to just like be a part of that. That's a more optimistic way to look at it.
No, I think that is, because I think they're slow. This is the start of them just becoming the absolute joke that I remember them being when I was younger.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what year like they really became a joke. I wonder at what point was it?
Oh no, I've got it. I've got it later on. I got.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 2006 is when they were really like, this is just ridiculous now. But with those 3 members leaving, there are next, there are our next additions to Appetite for Decomposition. This is a segment where we go over the highs and lows of fallen members. Notice Gilby Clarke was not included, which is sad.
Why not?
Which is sad. So we're going to talk about them. I decided we'll talk about them in levels of importance. So the first person we're going to talk about is Matt Sorum. And look, this is going to be a quick one, at least for me. Totally unremarkable drummer. Like, there's just no way about it. Absolutely bog standard rock drummer. Slash once said he was the greatest drummer of all time. How?
Maybe.
How?
I don't.
How?
What did he play on?
Everything after Genealize. So both the Use Your Illusion and the
Spaghetti Incident.
The Spaghetti Incident, yeah. Anything memorable? Anything?
No.
No. The only thing that comes close to me is the beginning of You Could Be Mine. Because I love that song. But yeah, really, like, I think even Peter Criss has more of an identity as a drummer, like, and he's more recognizable as a drummer than Matt Sorum is. Like he's not like a bad drummer by any stretch of the imagination. A bad drummer. He's just totally unremarkable. Maybe it's not fair to compare him to Steven Adler, and to be fair, Matt was given, for the most part, absolutely fucking dross material to work with.
Yep.
Which is not fair. And Steven had Appetite to work with. But, Steven Adler on one record had so many parts, and so many like iconic parts, like Rocket Queen, Paradise City, Mr. Brownstone, like the rumba bit in Welcome to the Jungle. Like, I think the closest Matt got to that was, again, the intro to You Could Be Mine, but that's it. I think just totally unremarkable drummer, I think. Maybe poor Huge Tobias felt the same way.
Maybe.
And that's what caused the riffs. Danny, what do you think? What do you think of Matt Sorum? Do you have anything?
No, it would be wrong of me to really give an opinion, because I didn't know who you were talking about just now until you reminded me. But I've listened to the past 3 albums, and I don't like any of them as albums, but I wasn't particularly opposed to any of the drumming.
Drumming wasn't the worst bit, was it?
The drumming was... yeah. It would, for me to try and piece together a compliment would be insulting to him. So I'm just going to pass on to Alex.
Okay. Alex, what do you think of Matt Sorum?
It was a downgrade from the original lineup, but he was fine. The one thing that I do associate him with, though, is there were multiple times at the end of tracks where, they'll do the fade out and then there was a really weak like he always wanted that last little fill at the very end of pieces, and it completely killed some moments. It was so bad at times. So on those choices alone, I don't think he did a great job. Sorry, dude.
Oh. I think I was nicer than you are, Alex.
We act like we're interested in the male gaze, but we are. Moving on to Duff McKagan. Danny, do you want to start this one?
Yeah, what does he play?
Danny. The bass player.
Oh, yeah,
I
really
wrote
good.
2 fucking paragraphs about Duff
No,
McKagan.
but I recognize his name, and I think I even have a face to put to him in my head. It's very hard for me to say anything when you're looking at me like that, Alexei.
Got it.
I like the bass playing on Appetite for Destruction, and then the rest. It's going to be the same for all the albums post Appetite. It's not like the playing's bad, but I don't like any of those songs really, bar maybe a few.
Okay, we can just move on then. Move on to Alex. Alex, what do you think of Duff McKagan, the man who made me want to pick up a bass guitar?
The rhythm section of Appetite was so incredible, really, really incredible, and so the guy's clearly talented. It's just, as we've always said, something happened in those later recordings, and we didn't get to see the same Duff as we once had. So shame, but a very talented bass player
in the studio.
That's what happened.
Trying to record his bass track. Get it out!
Just everything after Appetite, there was this bee in the studio that really affected my brain.
Yeah, I think Duff's a great bass player. Sorry, we finished, Alex.
Yes.
God, no one had much to say about Duff McKagan. I think he's a good bass player. I think he's a great bass
player. We've got one
very
album
melodic,
that we like.
very
so
rhythmic. Again, iconic parts for Day, Sweet Child of Mine, Rocket Queen, You Could Be Mine, It's So Easy. He plays with his pick, slightly angled. I think that's part of him, being a bit of a low slinger, and it gives it this really kind of rough, scrappy punk sound, which dirties them up good. There's also something kind of post-punky about his playing. It's sort of locked and repetitive and mechanical, but it's also very scrappy. It's quite post-punk. It's kind of interesting. If you put him next to Nicky Sixx from Motley Crue, Gene Simmons, or Bobby Dore from Poison, there's no question he's leagues above those guys. He's much more unique. In addition to that, he puts a lot of chorus on his bass as well. That's kind of I'm a bit of a sucker for that. It's a very late 80s, 90s thing to do. And I love it. It's something that I do a lot of my own playing as well. And I always thought it was because of The Cure or Tool that I did that, but I think it's probably because of Duff, looking way back, all those years back when I was really into their first record. His influence to me on them is certainly a lot more punk. I think he had a lot of the sort of punk elements to their music. That's very clear on Spaghetti. In fact, he's probably the best thing about that record in many ways. He had no real chemistry with Matt Sorum. Even though we passed Matt Sorum, he's still somehow getting shout. Still getting shout. Real chemistry with Matt. Not that it wasn't there, but his chemistry with Steven was just undeniable. There's so many awesome grooves on that record. And they're not obvious choices for those songs. It's a shame that at this point in this career that we're talking about them and discussing that chemistry with them is just kind of completely dead. But it has been dead for a while. And maybe like what Danny's sort of hinting at, that chemistry being dead, then maybe it is good to get some new blood in the band. In terms of Lows, just so fine. The song's so fine. It's so embarrassing. So, and it's a shame that that's the song that they put out as his best foot forward. So yeah, that is Duff. Now, Slash. I think you will have something to say about this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Slash, go.
I like Slash. He's a really good guitarist. He's a bit of a... Could you say he's a bit of a meme in hard rock? He's just the lead guitarist.
Yeah, iconic, He's iconic. Hard rock guitarist. Slash in it.
I like the he makes me think of the South Park joke where like he's like Santa Claus, and you
Like
tell
kids
kids
and
that he exists, and like you have to tell kids at a certain age that Slash doesn't exist.
Oh,
Alexei's just staring at me. Okay.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
Hey, why don't you take your shirt off?
No, I'm not gonna say much.
You must be hot. Why don't you take your shirt off?
Alexei, the whole body is turning so hard to look at me right now.
Oh, I'm not. Hey, come on. Loosen up.
Slash influenced me as a guitarist because mainly I think I said most of what I have to say about Slash on when we did Appetite about Sweet Child of Mine. I think that's such a good solo. I think he's got other really good ones. I think most of any of the good things that I've had to say about any of the past 4 albums that we've done has been around Slash's playing, even though I'm often underwhelmed by it.
Yeah. I was gonna kind of say a similar thing.
Yeah, I hold him to a standard that he does not hit throughout Guns N' Roses'
Not since
catalog.
Appetite at all, I think.
I think wasn't there the
No,
odd bit? I think there was the odd bit I liked.
But if you were to compile, like, if you had to really knuckle down and be like, all right, top 7 guitar solos, the top, the upper echelons of that, maybe even all of them would be off Appetite.
I remember even on Appetite there was a few tracks I was like, come on, Slash. He's quite reserved in his play. I think someone must have told him less is more once, and I think he really took that to heart.
Yeah.
And as we'll hear on this album, less is often more, not always.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
But sometimes more is more, Slash. And I think he grew into himself. I think as a guitarist you could really... I'm talking about his post-Guns N' Roses stuff. You could really see his progress.
Yeah.
A lot of the session work he's done.
Yeah, I've heard some stuff he's done since, where, like, I remember he did that song Vengeance Is Mine.
I was going to say Along Came a Spider.
Fucking smashes it on that.
He's really good on
song
that.
Vengeance Is Mine is fucking ludicrous.
He's on so many things. I'm sure there's other things
You know,
he's on that I like.
his solo on Guitar Hero 3 is really
Yeah.
good. You know, when you have to battle it.
Yeah, I remember
he recorded
that.
all that shit. It's fucking mental. It's really good.
He's a very good classic rock guitarist, and Slash gets a big thumbs up from me. Alex?
Okay.
I just find it amazing that Slash managed to become like one of the most recognizable guitar soloists or sounds just through a handful of songs on his first album. Like, just off those sorts of things, like just off those few songs, like he instantly created a personal sound that is like probably one of the most recognizable guitar styles out there. And I just think that's incredible. I don't have much more to add to you guys. He's very good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm a bit... I kind of got to bring it down a little bit now, to be honest
Whoa.
with you, because Slash somehow, through doing this exercise, has gone down in my estimation since doing this. And that's a sad thing.
Yeah, why?
Because, and I almost don't want to talk about it, because I used to regard him quite highly. But you can't ignore the fact that the majority of the solos on most of Guns' albums, through doing this, have been really bog standard and pretty boring. Like, and I include November Rain in that. Like, a lot of people going hard for November Rain, and it does nothing for me. But I think it is also mired by an absolutely terrible song at the same time. But regardless, Rocket Queen, phenomenal. Paradise City. Also, the shredding he does in Paradise City. Does he ever get to do that ever again?
I'm sure on his solo stuff.
On his solo stuff, I mean, like in the Run of Guns album.
No.
That insane, like, he never gets to do it. Like, and you should. Mr. Brownstone, amazing, one of his best solos ever. I could go on and on about how great his playing on Appetite is. Everyone can go on about how great his playing is, but what's more interesting is that it's rarely replicated, never replicated by him. There is not a single other track of any other record that even comes close to his playing on Appetite, and I now have to come out the other end of this appraisal of their band's discography thinking less of him, and that is not what I was expecting to happen, and ultimately a very small something has been taken away from me in that regard.
But
That's not great.
Don't you think if you checked out all of his
I might have to
post Guns N' Roses stuff
to bring bring the body out of the dustbin,
I would assume that he would also say, post Appetite, but that's not the best of my work.
Yeah.
I don't know though. We'd have to ask if Slash wants to come on.
Slash, please, come on. So normally I'd go into the aftermath of what happens to these gentlemen.
Yeah.
But they all went on and reform Velvet Revolver, and we're going to do Velvet Revolver one day. I would very, very much like to do Velvet Revolver.
Okay.
Yes, 2 albums.
That's too. Okay. It's too
Two
many.
albums too long.
Yeah.
Set me free, 'cause I want you in my song. But back to guns. At this point, by the way, it is worth mentioning that a lot of what I'm about to say about the creation of this record has been covered before. This is not unusual.
Yeah.
This is not unusual. It has been covered before. It is not an original thing. A lot of podcasts have covered the making of this record. I know. So this is not a new thing. Just putting that out there. But at this point, Axel is now the last remaining member of the band. Most people would have given up, but not our Axel. He decided to keep on keeping on. Is it fair to say that I mean, it's probably fair to say, isn't it better just to leave at this point, just leave it? And what do you think, Alex?
If he should have just given up with recording new music, or with the Guns N' Roses name?
No, as Guns. That's the general consensus.
Yeah, I would say he should have made it solo. He should have made this album just under Axl Rose. It's still a big enough name. Not as big, obviously, but yeah, I think he should have just made it solo. It is a solo album in essence. So, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, he didn't. I don't think he had much to do with the music, as far as I'm aware. As far as I can tell, he was just getting people to like record and write stuff, and then he would sort of come in every once in a while and go, "No, don't do that," and then just sort of and then come back like 3 weeks later. Anyway, Dave Abuzu wouldn't last as drummer and will be replaced by Josh Freese, who's played on a lot of stuff. He's played on Devo, Nine Inch Nails, Foo Fighters, Sting, a lot of stuff. And Duff McKagan would be replaced by Tommy Stinston of The Replacements. Again, this lineup is just getting more and more mental by the minute. Electronic producer Moby entered talks to produce and work with the band for a few months. He said they're writing a lot of stuff with loops, and believe it or not, they're doing it better than anybody I've heard lately. Moby's relationship with Rose quickly soured when he asked about recording vocals. He said, "I asked the question I'm never supposed to ask. Oh, this is great, but where are the vocals?" And everyone would get very uncomfortable. They've been working on the record for 6 years, and they hadn't done any vocals. He later stated, "Look, I'm not a producer. I can make my own records, but I've never produced a hard rock band in my life, and I just didn't think that my first job as a producer should be producing Guns N' Roses." Moby soon pulled out to focus on his solo work. Longtime Guns N' Roses producer Mike Klink is also reported to have been in talks to work on the album that year, but ultimately did not join the project. Could you imagine what it would have been like if Moby produced this fucking record? But I guess he couldn't. It just couldn't happen. It's ridiculous, and obviously it didn't work out.
Yeah, he's not. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know Moby's music that well. I don't know his skill set that well. I'd be open to it, but I guess it was never meant to be.
It was not meant to be. Axl struggled to get anything done due to multiple lawsuits from both former Guns N' Roses members and from his personal life. Originally, he states his plan was to make an old-school record like Appetite, but that would have been too easy. Because of the lack of progress, Josh Freese, who had written most of the title track of the record, left the project. However, there is a credit to him on the album, a very bizarre credit that we'll get into later. He was then replaced by Brain, who is probably best known as the drummer of Primus.
He's a good drummer.
He's a very, very good drummer.
Like
he's also worked with Buckethead and Bernie Worrell. Bootsy Collins, I think he's worked with. No, Buckethead's worked with Bootsy Collins. Well, maybe Brain has as well. I don't know. But they've got a band together, haven't they? Praxis or something like that.
Does Brain play on Praxis?
Yeah,
I think that's this weird maze of that lot who all play together with a bunch of other musicians.
A fantastic drummer.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Slash not being around, they needed a replacement for a lead guitarist. So then Brain was Was it Brain? No, sorry, it was Josh Freese. Josh Freese then suggested Buckethead, who was also, like we said, very, very tight with Brain. Buckethead.
I love Buckethead.
I think Buckethead is great.
Yeah.
Very different guitarist to Slash. Anyways.
Little bit different. I'm a Buckethead fan. I really love Buckethead.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard, as a fan, you might have some thoughts on this, but I've heard speculation about why he joined Guns N' Roses. Because it's an odd choice. Because he is a guy, he's a musician's musician, basically, I think, for the most part, Buckethead.
Yeah.
He's on the fringe.
Yeah.
And I think some of the speculation of people that have worked, who know him, have said that, like, well, basically, he didn't want to be on the fringe. He wanted more of a paycheck and more of a steady, like, you didn't couch surfing, done with that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I think especially when because you'll probably get onto them, Alexei. I was reading about, and I have read in the past some of the stories about him on this album, and they're insane. But it just sounds so much like he's just trying to be insane to get again, like you said, to get his name out there more.
He wrote a lot of shit on this record.
He did. You
wrote
can tell when he's playing on it usually.
You can tell. But also, from his perspective, and again, this kind of goes into the lineup thing about when I say, like, I used the word supergroup. Okay, so I'm in a band with Brain.
Yeah.
I'm in a band with Tommy Stinston from The Replacements. I love The Replacements, by the way. I'm a big Replacements fan. So, from my perspective, I'm like, hang on, so it's got Buckethead on it, Brain, and Tommy Stinston, and not to mention Paul Huge Tobias.
He's still there.
He's still not
left. Okay.
Because you can't move him. No, he's too big. You can't get rid of him. And Axl Rose as well. You know, even as the name Axl Rose, you figured, well, maybe there's something here.
I know what you mean, but I just know. Again, you asked us about what we already knew about this album. Well, that's what I already knew about it, that it had about 1 million different people on it because the lineup kept changing.
It doesn't even start. Think about the people that have been involved in this album.
Yeah.
The original Guns N' Roses, Moby, Zakk Wylde, Buckethead, Tommy
so
Stinston,
many.
and it keeps going.
Yeah.
It keeps, the names, like David Abuzubuvu, Oranzi Pazuzu. It's mad. Anyway,
I mean, that is something I knew about this. You asked me what I knew about this album. I knew Bucky had played on it. I'd seen clips of, like, him playing festivals with Guns N' Roses. And it's just so weird to see Buckethead with Guns N' Roses. He's legit a member,
and he's legit involved with this.
Yeah.
You know, and he's
crazy.
Committed to it. But then we'll get onto his behaviour in the studio that happens later. And then,
I'll preface that by saying I'm Team Buckethead no matter what he does.
I say because Alex doesn't know about any of this. But anyway, with the new lineup of Tommy Stinston of The Replacements, Brain of Primus, Robin Fink of Nine Inch Nails, fucking Buckethead, Axl Rose, Dizzy Reed, and Poor Huge Tobias.
Let's do it for They're all famous except him. The fuck is Poor Huge Tobias?
He's huge, man.
He's definitely the smallest name of all of those.
Axl broke significant ground by performing with the band at the House of Blues. Slash apparently tried to enter this show, but Axl gave the manager strict instructions to not let him enter. Sad, isn't it? It's pretty sad.
Did he get in?
He'd go in one way or the other.
He did?
Yeah. Gone one way or the other. No, he never got in.
No, okay.
Not that. Later on that year, Guns would play another 2 shows in Las Vegas. However, this would be the last 2 shows Guns would play with Paul Huge Tobias.
No!
Which brings us to another edition of Appetite for Decomposition.
Let's do it. I've read a lot about Paul Huge Tobias.
What can you say?
Wait, what did he play on?
He played on their cover of Symphony for the Devil, which Slash said he fucking hated his guitar part on. And I think that's pretty much it.
Is he not?
Is he on this album?
Yeah, do we know if
Hang on.
any of this album that I've heard, Chinese Democracy, is he
yeah, he played on Prostitute, or he's credited on Prostitute. I don't think he plays, but he co-wrote title track, along with like 50 other people.
This is big.
And that is it. He played on those
Street of Jeans
tracks. Did he?
Yeah.
Oh no, he played rhythm guitar. He played rhythm guitar on tracks 1, 3 to 7, 9.
A lot.
Right, we'll get
I'm seeing
into
a lot
this
of
later,
Tobias.
there's so many, but there's so much left from demos. There's so
Yeah.
much taken from different bits.
Plays
It's
piano
so,
on track 6.
It's so. Which one was it?
What was
He
that?
plays it! Oh, what? He's a talented guy.
He's a big part of this album.
Okay, all right. You know
Yeah.
what? I'll give him credit. This is another problem with the notes as well. It is so hard to tell when someone goes, when someone comes back in.
If I like a part,
when
who
you
is
like
it?
a part, who
Yeah.
played it. Sometimes it's like, did this person play? Sometimes there's solo. I'm like, that's Buckethead. It's not Buckethead. And I'm like, well,
they get thingy later. Bumblefoot.
they got Bumblefoot.
Was probably
Bumblefoot after Buckethead had recorded his fucking bit.
Yeah.
So Bumblefoot comes in, and they're like,
I like Bumblefoot too, not as much as Buckethead.
I do like Bumblefoot.
Yeah, Bumblefoot's pretty good.
Good guitarist.
Shout out to Bumblefoot.
Yes, shout out to Bumblefoot.
Sorry, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
So as this was going on, they kept plugging away at the yet untitled album. They did some early sessions
I have a question.
with Youth.
I have a question.
Yeah. What's the question?
Why did Paul Tobias leave?
I don't know. I don't know, mate.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Keep going. Sorry.
Went to rehab for binge eating. We have the fact that he's a mob, he's like Jabba the Hutt. I couldn't stand that guy. He just kept fucking eating, not fucking playing.
I couldn't stand Axel. He wouldn't feed me. Feed me! It's like Audrey too.
No, you have to record your guitar. Feed me!
Okay. Sorry.
I don't know why he left.
Okay.
So they kept plugging away, and in the mid 1998, fucking hell, only on 1998, producer Youth, who produced U2 and The Verb, was brought in to work on some demos and help Rose focus. I actually knew Youth, met him several times. He lived in the same valley as my dad. A nice bloke, nice guy. Youth felt that Rose was not ready to record a new album, stating he kind of pulled out and left the project. Rose later said that he had stopped writing for years in mid-1990s because of criticisms from his bandmates and his ex-fiancée Stephanie Seymour. Rose did not appear in the studio every day. Engineer Dave Dominguez said he'd be on for a couple of weeks, then off for a couple of weeks. He called in pretty much every day, though, over the phone. He'd ask who was there and what they were doing. Funny, isn't it? Is Paul there? Rose rarely sang while attending sessions, occasionally performing instruments with the band and spending many nights casually discussing non-music related topics. That is a good use of time and resources. So, how about that? How about them Reds? Rose ordered the studio engineers to continue recording ideas the band came up with in his absence. He was sent several CDs featuring different mixes of possible songs. Eventually, he accumulated 1,000 CDs. 1,000 CDs, all piled up in his home. One of the engineers said that the band had more than 300 hours worth of recording material. They'd each take a CD home, listen for cool parts, pick them out, and that's how they would build songs. Dominguez, the recording engineer, recorded this process. Some parts were 3 seconds long, some were 3 minutes long. Sometimes it was just a guitar lick. They were transferred to CD. Everything had an ID and a number. Then the CDs were made for each member of the band. They could go, okay, on set 4, CD 3, idea 15, let's do something with that. Then everybody would take their CD home, get the parts, and write something to that. It was that intense. Just a convoluted way to make music. I mean,
I weirdly approve of that in a sort of experimental way. I'm like, right, Radiohead have done things like that, haven't they?
Yeah, can you hear this
they're
on
not
this
making
record?
hard rock music.
No, yeah, exactly.
Is the difference.
Yeah.
And it does sound, a problem with this album is that it does sound disjointed, not in a fun, experimental Mr. Bungle way. It just sounds like not the proper songs a lot of the time.
Yes, definitely.
And so it doesn't come across well here. But in terms of, a weird part of me wants to like an album that's made in such a weird, sort of artificial way like that.
Yes, it's very second by second.
Yeah.
Like, lets every, in a way, maybe when he was kind of coming out and talking about
The electronic stuff.
No, about like use your illusions when he was like, we're going over everything with a fine tooth comb, and it wasn't. It was lazy. This is sort of the opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's not lazy. Although Axl Rose sounds like he's being pretty fucking
That's
lazy.
yeah.
And making everyone
What was he
else,
doing at
everyone else
home?
do the fucking work.
Calling them.
Fucking no. Hanging out with poor huge tobacco. That's what he was doing. Sean Bevan was then enlisted as producer to guide the project. That worked a bit better, and as far as I'm aware, they got quite a lot of shit done. So they worked with him from 1998 to 2000. Tommy Stinston, who's the bass player, said that most of the songs on the album started and ended with what Sean Bevan did. Bevan recorded Axl Rose's vocals in less than a week, most of the takes of which appear on this record. So even going all that way back, there's still snippets from his session and what he did in this time that you can still find on that record.
Again, I quite like that. There's a weird part of me that likes that from a creative angle, not from a business or fan angle. Just like,
do you mean being as objective as possible and going, you know what, that first take was better?
No, I just mean the idea that I'm listening to an album and there's parts that were recorded a year ago and there's parts that were recorded a decade ago. Yeah. That's just sort of interesting.
No,
Yeah,
it is. It is in a way. It's a bit like that film. Is it Boyhood?
Yeah, I
where
want to
he
see
filmed
that.
the first bit like 30 years ago, then he
Yeah.
filmed the next bit 20 years ago, and it just spans this kid's life. It's almost like that. Sorry, Alex, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I agree with Danny in that it's really interesting. Like, I find it really interesting with posthumous albums, like where somebody has to go back to like files and then like try and figure out what the essence of it was, or like what the what they were going for, and it's just a very different way to view creating a song, and it might not always come out with the best results, but I do think it's very interesting.
Sure is, Alex. Sure is. Bevan claims.
What the fuck was that?
It's agreement.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Staring into the distance.
It's totally listening. Anyway. Bevan claimed to have worked on 35 songs during his time with the band. Billy Howardell, I hope I'm saying that correctly, of the band A Perfect Circle, was used as a Pro Tools engineer during the album's early development, saying, I came in to start making sounds for Robin Fink, who was the guitarist at the time, and that kind of turned into this 2.5-year gig with the band. Who hasn't worked on this fucking album?
Maybe
Randy Newman.
Randy Newman has not worked on this album.
Although this was fruitful work, although despite all this fruitful work that was being done, it was temporarily halted because Axl Rose wanted the new lineup to re-record the entirety of Appetite for Destruction. This forced the new members to get up to the quality they needed to be to write new songs and record new songs. Oh, Buckethead needs to get up to the quality that Slash, does he? Really? Fucking ridiculous. What an insult to poor huge Tobias.
Yeah. I bet he could play all of those parts. Becca's head.
I mean, this is such a waste of time, this record. But Brian May was brought in to record solos. And did they use them?
I hope so. Really?
They didn't use any. Brian May. Because, I'm not the biggest.
I'd use him, though.
But fucking use him, man. And there's some songs on here where I'd be like, you know what? Maybe Brian May lends himself a bit better to those songs than Buckethead. The catcher in the rye again.
Could have had some Brian May.
Could have had some fucking Brian May special secret sauce in there. Finally, in 1999, Axl announced the name of the record. The title has always intrigued me. It's been an intriguing title to me. On the title, Axl says, there's a lot of Chinese democracy movements, and it's something that there's a lot to talk about. and it's something that will be nice to see. It could also just be like an ironic statement. I don't know. I just like the sound of it. So nothing. Basically.
Nothing.
It means absolutely nothing.
I saw that. I was like, oh.
Fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
Absolute fucking nonsense. You might as well have just sort of pissed in a cup and...
Might as well have pissed in a cup. Yeah.
Might as well came on my back. Thanks for clearing that up, Axel. Finally, Guns released some new music. They finally released a single for the film End of Days. They love doing soundtrack work, don't they? They really love doing soundtrack work. The song was called Oh My God! And features Rose Tobias, poor huge Tobias that is.
Thank you.
Stinston, Reed, Pittman, Fink, and Josh Free. So it must have been recorded a while ago. Again, the timelines of all of this is so fucking confusing. Along with guitarist Dave Navarro, because why fucking not? Everyone else is playing on it. And Gary Sunshine of the band Circus of Power. I have no fucking clue who they are. The song received mixed reviews, and fuck knows when it was recorded. The song, Oh My God, by the way, is very bad.
I've not heard it.
It's very, very, very bad. And if I were there at the time, I would be thinking, oh shit, they are in real trouble. Like, they are fucking knee-deep in it. Robin Fink left the band to rejoin Nine Inch Nails. At this point, in 2000, the album was reported to be 99% done and would be out later that year. That 1% took a pretty fucking long time, didn't it? To get this snare sound right. Get that beat out the studio. Sean Bevan left the project. At this time, the album was nearly complete, but after Rose hired Queen producer Roy Thomas Baker to replace Bevan, he was persuaded to do a re-recording on the entire album. About Roy Thomas Baker. Roy Thomas Baker is like... I mean, I don't know if you know much about him, but he actually recorded One Way Ticket to Hell and Back by the Darkness. He was the producer on that.
Like that.
But he's very... very, very notorious for like wasting a lot of money on a label, going massively over budget, being a perfectionist, very sort of eccentric guy. Like a lot of those Queen records, he did like Sheer Heart Attack, Night at the Opera, very, very over the top, bombastic. Apparently, on One Way Ticket to Hell and Back, they used 79 mics to mic the drum kit on that record. So, not the best combination. For this record. Roy Thomas Baker took away all of John Freese's drum parts. As he said, they sounded too industrial, and asked Brain to learn them exactly how they were played, and re-record them. Rose had Brain learn Freese's parts note by note, which Brain had transcribed, then played them from a teleprompter before trying the songs again in his own style, so sort of learning them and reinterpreting them. According to Brain, he recorded his parts in 8 months, and the final album features a hybrid of his and Josh Reese's styles. Tommy Stinston recorded his bass parts with each drummer as well. Stinston probably says that he probably ended up re-recording each part 5 or 6 times over the years. Stinston was later critical of the re-recording process, saying that Barker wasted many years and many millions of dollars trying to get us to sound better. And he also says we could have addressed a lot of the issues that we were facing in the mixing stage. Buckethead was also frustrated with Roy Thomas Baker and left the project, but was convinced to stay by Tom Zutard, the band's former manager, who was brought in a desperate attempt just to get the album finished. Tom Zutard persuaded Buckethead to rejoin by installing a giant chicken coop in the studio for him to work in, with furniture, straw, chicken wire, and a rubber chicken. Zutard described it as part chicken coop, part horror movie. You could always smell the chickens. Only assistant engineers were allowed to enter while Buckethead was working, and that was only to adjust microphones. Rose's assistant, Better, downplayed the coop as inexpensive and fun, saying it didn't cost money or anything. Think about it. It's just wire. it's something you do in 3 or 4 hours just for fun, to play a joke on someone. However, According to Zootard, the coupe caused friction when Buckethead began using it to watch hardcore pornography with disturbing Axl Rose. Zootard told an interviewer that after one of Axl Rose's dogs defecated in the coupe, Buckethead insisted it not be cleaned up as he liked the smell. After 3 days, the smell had become overwhelming and the studio staff removed it, upsetting Buckethead. You seem to have strong feelings about this behaviour.
I do. I just think.
Talk to me.
I mean, we saw it. You've written it yourself. It's upset Buckethead. That's the guitarist of your band.
It upset me.
Yeah. Why did they clean it up?
They clean it up. It's not hurting anyone.
No.
He made it very
He
clear.
said only the audio engineers were allowed in.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could take it.
The dog shouldn't have been in there, I suppose.
I think Axl should keep control of his dogs,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
I'm with Buckethead.
I'm with Buckethead. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, man. Well, Buckethead made his rules very clear.
Also, he's really good at guitar.
Also, isn't Axl Rose responsible for the death of like 3 people? And he's crushed to death at his concerts.
Oh, that.
He caused a fucking riot.
What did Buckethead do?
What did Buckethead do? He just said he liked the smell of dog shit.
Yeah.
With that.
Come on.
Ridiculous behaviour. I agree. I'm a team Buckethead. By the way, you've got a pubic hair going into your foreskin. Let me just take that out. There we go. It's horrible when that happens. It's horrible.
Oh.
Comment down below if that ever happens to you. At Interscope's request, Zootard investigated the project's budget. This is insane. This is absolutely fucking insane, this bit. He found that the band was spending thousands of dollars a month on rented gear that went unused. He made changes that he estimated saved around $75,000 a month. Additionally, Rose kept erratic hours, which meant that salaried musicians, engineers, and assistants were often unable to work. Zootard said, "These fucking people are getting paid shitloads of money and they're sitting on their ass doing nothing because Axl's not coming to the studio and they can't get him on the phone." Axl received, like Alex said, soundings from several people saying he should have made it a solo record, but he wouldn't do it. I think it was to prove that he could do it or make a great Guns N' Roses albums without those schmucks getting in the way. For his 2001 film Black Hawk Down, the filmmaker Ridley Scott asked to use the 1987 Guns N' Roses song "Welcome to the Jungle" from the debut album Appetite for Destruction. They're just a magnet for films, aren't they? Absolute magnets. According to Zootard, Rose already had had the new members of the band re-record the entirety of Appetite for Destruction. So to not let that go to waste, he sent versions of it, and he also attended a screening of Black Hawk Down arranged by Zootard, but fired him when he realised it was not a private screening. What's in with his popcorn? What is this? Going back. Excuse me.
Black Hawk Down good? Have you guys seen it?
I've seen Black Hawk Down, yeah.
It's
alright. I don't remember Welcome to the Jungle being in it. Or thinking, that sounds a little different. There's something going on there. So the album is in final stages of mixing at this point. This is going on and on. And how fucking long is this, right? Roy Thomas Barker left the project probably because it was a fucking nightmare. So he's gone now. The band then toured for a little bit and decided in 2003 to re-record the album again. At this point, Geffen had removed Chinese Democracy from its release schedule and withdrawn all the funding. To quote Geffen, having exceeded all budgeting and approved recording costs by millions of dollars, it is Mr. Rose's obligation to fund and complete the album, not Geffen's. I mean, by that point, manager, I cannot read and pronounce that name, Merck Makuradis, said that the album was close to complete. You could fuck off. Tommy Stinson said it was 90% done. You could fuck off. According to a March 2005 New York Times article, production costs for the album had reached $13 million. At one point, the band was using a budget of almost $250,000 a month. Rose said the expense would be negated by the recording sessions yielding multiple albums. What does that mean? We're making them for more than one. So it makes how many are you making to justify 250 pounds? Like 8 albums a month. You fucking madman. This is ridiculous. I've heard someone say on another podcast, and I'm going to give them a shout out. Stephen Hill on the Broken Records podcast. He said streaming had to happen because of this kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
This kind of thing. This is such a waste of material and resources that could have been used somewhere else. It's fucking ridiculous. Outrageous. Out-fucking-rageous. Streaming, like, there are people, great musicians, that get nothing, and just $250 just getting spaffed away every single month on fucking nothing.
On gear that's not being used.
Gear that's not being used for them to go back and go, that vocal demo we recorded 10 years ago, I think it's better than that one we did last week, actually. Let's use that. But it's kind of like, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think, again, there's a part of me that wants to approve, but
they don't throw money at records like this anymore.
No.
Really.
But like Loveless is a...
Very, yeah.
Right, wasn't that supposed to be... I mean, it didn't take quite as long.
It didn't cost... Not even, I don't think even a fucking 50th of this. 250. So if it went 250,000 quid, or whatever the equivalent is, over budget Loveless, even by that much, that would be seen as a lot, right?
Yeah.
Not even 250,000 a month! A month! That's the top prize on Deal or No Deal.
I would love it though if it was an incredible album and that was the story.
Yeah.
In a bit.
You just gotta take your time,
we'll
kids.
Get to this in a bit. You couldn't do anything with this album. You couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Nothing would justify it.
If it was that good.
Nothing is that good. Name one album that is that good. That wouldn't be like, you could have given that money to charity. You could have given that money to a good cause.
I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate. It's
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But, I guess Buckethead was able to live off that money for a while.
I think that, we don't want to get serious about Chicken Who thing, but that's why he did it. He did it because he was just like, I don't want to be in this band anymore, fuck it, I might as well take the money and sit in here and just smell my dog shit. Smell my dog shit.
Yeah.
On March 17, 2004, Buckethead quit Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses cancelled. So they cancelled their planned, presumably, and they actually had to drop out their headline slot at Rock in Rio. Buckethead's management stated his departure was due to frustrations with the band's inability to complete an album or tour. That's a bit unreasonable. It's a bit unreasonable, don't you think?
There's Buckethead as well, who's maybe one of the most prolific musicians ever.
300 albums.
Like in a year or something.
Yeah. It's like the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite.
It's like that's his therapy from working on this.
Yeah. It's probably all the material he just built up. He was like, I might as well release it all.
Yeah.
300 albums in a year. The band released a statement saying that Buckethead had been, you're not going to like this, Danny, inconsistent and erratic in both his behaviour and his commitment. His transient lifestyle made it near impossible to have nearly any form of communication with him whatsoever. Oh, it's definitely Buckethead's fault.
Yeah. To be fair, are you going to get to it? There's something about like a... was it a Dr. Pepper or a Pepsi?
No, I didn't include that. Do you want to talk us through that?
I saw something, this was years ago, so I'm going to butcher it, but it's like there was a competition. Oh no, it was a marketing campaign where they're going to give everyone in the country a can of Coke or whatever. It wasn't Coke.
Dr. Pepper.
Was it Dr. Pepper? Yeah. If the album was released before this date. And they said in the promotional things, except Buckethead and someone else who quit. But Axl Rose said, in his defense, I will say, he said, oh, Buckethead did play on the album, though, so I'd give him half of my Coke. So does that make you like Axl a little more?
That is and I mean this, and I don't have to think about it long, the single best, nicest, kind thing I've ever heard in my time doing this, him doing. Are you misremembering?
I could be. This was years ago. I read that. But the end of it is that they missed the deadline anyway. I think this is around 2006.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on
Rock
2004 now. So we're getting close. We're only 4 fucking years away from...
Oh my god.
Buckethead was then replaced by, as you said, Bumblefoot, another great guitarist.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
not,
like
maybe
Bumblefoot.
not a Buckethead, but it's good. The fretless stuff he does on this record, actually, not to give too much praise, very good.
Very good,
Very
yeah.
good, yeah.
He's
Very
really good.
Fucking crazy sounding.
Yes.
Stinson said in September that the album would be in the mastering stages by November 2004. Fuck off. Fucking do one. Tommy Stinson. Brain left the band in July 2006 to help take care of his newborn daughter. Frank Ferreira was brought in to replace Brain and added yet more drum tracks to it. Just to give you an idea of what Guns were like as a live act at this time, because we were talking about, Alex, you made a great point. You're saying, when do they become the joke band that they are now? I'd put it now. I'd put it probably at this point. They did a headline set at the 2006 Download Festival. This is from an article I read, which was a review of the concert, which said GNR were on time and on form, opening with flash bombs and a 1, 2, 3 sucker punch of Welcome to the Jungle, It's So Easy, Mr. Brownstone. So that's good. But then obviously it goes off a cliff. Axl Rose said the stage was too slippery and he kept slippering around. They started to play a new song. He also called one of the members of the audience a cunt. No, it was one of the stewards. He called an overzealous steward a cunt. They started... Axl started to complain that they had technical problems. They were going to have a break. They had a big old break, which left Fink and another guitarist they had called Richard Fortus to whittle their way through as the review put it, frankly excruciating guitar instrumental of Christina Aguilera's Beautiful. Oh, I like the sound of that. Axl left the stage repeatedly. They played a new song, and the crowd started booing and chanting, "Sort your head out," to Axl. Tommy Stinson then grabbed the mic and threatened to go home because he was hit over the head with a beer bottle that someone had thrown on stage. But it ends okay. It ended all right. But this, in a nutshell, you are hearing stories about this kind of thing time and time and time again. Yeah. Coming up 3 hours late, microphone's not working, walking off stage, just being completely unpredictable, unreliable. And even when they played from start to finish, sounding like shit.
I remember that. Even
Constantly.
Back then, I remember hearing about Guns N' Roses, like Axl's a complete diva, and their live shows were really bad.
And they're a joke, and there's no original members. So, Alex, do you have any memories of this particular time?
I definitely heard that like a lot of those shows would be bad, but I did also hear that it was a complete like gamble. That like on some nights Axl was incredible in terms of like the energy he would give. But I don't know if that was this time or maybe a bit later, like after Chinese Democracy.
Maybe he got a bit more energy after Chinese Democracy finally released.
Maybe.
Oh, Alexei's back from the kitchen.
Sorry, I went to go get myself a can of Coke, but I heard every word. And you had some very incisive, bit renegade.
Or insightful.
There, more insights. Alex, yes. If you want to hear more insights, he has an OnlyFans page at Alex.
We'll put it up on the screen.
We'll put it up on the screen right now. You can go on the OnlyFans page. If you like butt stuff, he's got it in abundance. More butt stuff coming out your ears.
Fuck off.
Sponsored by Diet Coke.
Punch it into the microphone.
God, I've got a bit of a cold coming on. Is that fan? Anyway.
The fan that you've pointed directly at yourself.
I've got work to do.
You do.
Doing much of the lion's share here. Axl left the stage. Oh, we've done that bit. The album with that fucking hell, with there.
Are we there?
With there. With there. To be honest with you, I lost all patience with doing the background.
Did you?
No,
more
seriously.
stuff to say?
No, I left like all. There's other shit that's in here. I don't think I've even scratched the surface of it. If you want to do a deep dive, you can. That's a basic rundown of what we have. Of what we have. But the album eventually gets released on November 23rd, 2008, and basically is sort of unreviewable. Really, it's basically unreviewable.
We'll try.
Due to the shadow behind it. Like it does get sort of more or less good reviews, but they're all coming at it as almost like an art installation or as an oddity, as a spectacle rather than an album in its own right. Like a piece of work that just come out by a band. Nowadays, it's considered a decent album, and the general consensus, I think, is that a lot of the music was overshadowed by what had happened before. It got to number 3 on Billboard, which is a failure. That's a failure.
It's pretty high.
It's pretty high, but for this, it's a failure. This is a complete failure. It would have to get to number 1 and stay there probably till today, to present day, for it to have succeeded.
Yeah, I mean, whatever's above it probably was cheaper.
Are you sure?
Well, we don't know.
Are you sure?
It could be another. What was above it?
Do you want me to look up? I could look it up.
Yeah, have a little look. I'm curious as well. That 2008.
I'd be hilarious to see what was. Fucking hell.
The Killers.
The Killers, Day and Age, was one of them. They got to number 3. Is this saying got to? Therefore, 2 hours specifically. Killers, Day and Age was above the chart. What was the other one then? That and wait, it's on official charts. Is it on it?
Day and Age. I'm looking it up. Has that got all the hits on it, Alex?
No, that's not very good.
It's got some hits, but it's not got all the hits.
It's got Human on it. Human.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
That's a shocking song. Right, so I'll just give you a bit of background for me. I actually used to own this record. Like I said, I actually owned a copy of this album, and I knew no one else that did. And at the time, I remember seeing it. I didn't set out to buy it. I went out, and because I was really into classic rock at this time. Again, we talked about in our Sonic Boom episode that classic rock kind of had a bit of a resurgence. And even though this isn't musically necessarily a classic rock record, it probably, it factored into that hysteria. And maybe, who knows, the reason why the album was dropped at this point was because they were like, yeah, seems like a good time to do it. But I saw it and I thought, you know what, fuck it. I feel like this is kind of an interesting piece of history. I'm just going to buy it. Because, as a fucking moronic teenager, and I probably could just listen to it online and not spend money on it, But there you go. Let's move on to the cover. I'm going to put this out there.
One second. The 2 albums, I think you're looking at the UK one. Like, so the 2 albums was... Yeah. Number 2 was Fearless by Taylor Swift, and number 1 was 808 and Heartbreak by Kanye West.
Oh. You know what? That tracks, because the Killers, believe it or not, I don't think are that big in America. That must have been in England.
Yeah, much bigger in the UK. Yeah.
That must have been in England. So Taylor Swift and Kanye West. Actually, something we'll get into later is that I've heard people draw a lot of parallels between Kanye West and Axl Rose, particularly sort of the perceived, quotation marks, genius, erratic behavior, erratic perfectionist behavior, yielding the greatest results, which we can get into now. The cover for this record, I have completely given myself into the background of this album, and then coming out of it, and then staring at the cover, I ultimately decided it's completely insignificant, the cover for this album. I do not care about the cover for this album. I don't. And it means nothing to me. And I don't think it warrants a conversation, in my view, at all. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys have anything you want to say, you can say, Alex, go.
It's a very big basket. I'm very impressed by the basket.
You could fit Paul huge to bags in the front seat. Sorry. Totally unremarkable.
Before
ludicrous album, it's got a fucking boring cover.
Before listening to the album and sort of knowing how much it would go into the topic, I think it's quite a good album cover. I think it's intriguing, honestly. With the title,
topic,
I mean,
like Chinese democracy.
Chinese democracy and that picture. It's like, it's an intriguing thing. It's like, it's quite, I don't know. Many things come to mind with something like that. And I also looked the original cover.
Oh, the alternative one. Oh, it's terrible. Fucking.
Well, the red star one.
The red.
Whoa, that is bad.
That's shocking.
I think it's all right. Like.
No.
The hand.
With fucking babies coming out of it.
The hand and the star.
Oh, you're talking. Oh no,
they're
different
both
one.
the
Sorry,
same.
different one.
They're both the same idea.
I think with that as well, like the hand with the star. I just think it's it's trying to be too political. It's not a fucking political album. This album has fucking nothing to
Well-
do with democracy in China. Has fucking nothing to do with
I
it.
agree.
Nothing to
Yeah,
do with it.
I agree with
at
that.
all. I think the spaghetti, like, it's too literal with the cover when it's like that has nothing to do with this. But then again, what could you slap on?
I agree that it has nothing to do with the album
Chairman
name.
Mao.
But like, if I was someone who was going through, a record store, as we say, and I saw this and I saw the title and I didn't know anything about it, I'd be like, oh shit, like, that looks pretty heavy. Like, I wouldn't think, oh man, what the hell?
You know what really, really fucking can do one is the font. The font is rubbish. Look at that font.
Yeah, I don't like
It has
the little...
Guns N' Roses written 3 times on it. Look, it's got it on the wall.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
got
I don't
written
like the
there,
different
and
versions.
It's got a little
Yeah.
G and R bit. Danny, you got any thoughts on this?
I think maybe I sort of agree with that. Well, no, I agree with Alex that it's generally a pretty good album cover. I don't agree that it looks heavy. I think it doesn't.
Nah.
It doesn't look like this album.
Looks like a Manic Street Preachers cover.
It's something more like that.
more
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
It's alright. But like Alexei said, this album's got nothing to do with Chinese democracy.
Oh, fuck us, dude.
So it's a bit misleading.
It is. But, as Alex said, he made an excellent point. It's a pretty big basket.
It's a very big
Yeah,
basket.
it's a really big basket. I'm pro basket.
Paul Tobias levels are big. That basket.
Pro bucket,
So,
bucket heads, pro baskets.
let's talk about this album. So, let's get into the
Jesus
music.
Christ.
Alex, are you good for time?
How you doing for time?
I'm okay. We're just gonna have to go late. Let's try and get
Let's
through
power
this at
through
a
it.
reasonable
Let's power
time.
We'll get
I
through
don't
it.
have. Weirdly, I don't.
I
have
don't
that
really.
much
I
to
don't really have much
say.
to say. Title track. It's good. The title track
Yeah, I agree.
is good. This
It's
is good. Axl, I think, sounds the best he has sounded probably since Appetite. And what's interesting on this album is you get, I think, probably the best Axl has been, and maybe the worst in certain moments. There are certain moments where I'm like, good fucking lord. But this is not one of them. I think that he sounds sassy. And I think he sounds unique. I think he's singing well with himself. Not all will matter. I'm like, ooh, it's a bit sass there, Axl. It's nice. It's nice. And the lyrics are complete gibberish. Obviously, it is complete gibberish. But no, it's... and like I said, I think this somehow sounds better than most... Well, I think it sounds more like Guns N' Roses, or has the energy of Guns N' Roses than most of what we've had in the last couple of records. Another thing I will point out is one of the reasons why people label it the industrial, I think, is the guitar tone, particularly at the beginning. It's that kind of very thin, very sort of fuzzy guitar tone that's used on a lot of high end, that's used on a lot of industrial records. I think that's kind of it. One thing I will say, which is pointed out a lot, which is, well, in terms of us, this is the most modern sounding record we have ever covered. But for the time it came out, this was considered very dated sounding. 2008, and actually a lot of the sounds, because someone pointed this out, well, I think it was Bill Burr, the comedian, where he was describing the biggest house that's ever been built, and he said, like, and he referenced Axl Rose saying the guy who designed the house, he kept having to redesign it, because, like, in the same way that Axl had to keep changing Chinese democracy, because music kept changing.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, it's getting dated, so I need to keep moving. And this is a bit of a victim of that, where it does sound dated. But, as a track, but, dated 4 or 5 years, sort of thing. We're talking the early 2000s. But, like, it's good. It is good. It's one of the best songs they have put out at this point in a good long time. I think it's good. I think it sounds sassy, and I like it. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it is good. I never expected Axl to be on like a kind of new metal-y sort of guitar sound. Yeah, on first listen, I'm going to mention it for a lot of the tracks. That one thing that really struck me is how 2000s this sounded. Like you're saying, Alexei. I know it's released in late 2008, but like there's so many little things here that I feel like I haven't heard in ages, and it comes from that like mid 2000s sort of style in so many different ways in this album, which is amazing considering who. Well,
it is, yeah.
Like it's Guns N' Roses, and also a lot of the stuff was, they say, written in the 90s and all that. Though, it's not quite true. Yeah, and immediately you feel a big difference. Not just the guitar tones and things, and how processed the drums are. You notice a very different drum sound. But also compared to Use Your Illusion, also just a bit more meaty, a bit more packed, more ideas thrown together in there, interweaving. Not as great as we saw in Appetite, but definitely a much better step compared to Use Your Illusion.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's very, very difficult. You were talking about the drums there. Like, if you look at who is actually credited on any of these songs, and I can't go into it because, look, it's already running long enough as it is. But if you look at it, it's mental. It's mental. It's highly hard to credit anyone to anyone. I do know that Josh Freese wrote most of this song, but no, I agree with you. It's definitely better. But then you got to ask the question. I think this is partly what made it so unreviewable at the time. 13 years, and it's good. It's all right. It's good. Yeah, good. I like it. But hey, Danny, don't let that cloud your judgment, though. Hasn't clouded mine.
It's the best thing since Appetite, easily.
Yeah.
Even his voice sounds more Appetite. He hasn't done this sort of Mr. Brownstone.
Not
voice.
well.
Yeah, not properly.
Because he's coming at it from a different. He's like trying to sing like ballads with it and shit. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But when he's doing a bit more of like, a bit of sass, a bit
Yeah.
of days, it's better.
I loved because I wasn't so big on the sort of using lots of samples in the intro and trying to be a bit, I don't know. It came across a bit pretentious, but as soon as the big riff comes in with the really compressed tone and it's all really heavy, I thought it was great. I really like that. It uses maximalism in good and bad ways here. I really like that it's just full of licks coming in and out.
Oh yeah.
It's non-stop in terms of energy. I was ignoring the lyrics. I don't think they were very good.
Gibberish, yeah.
Really good shredding. I mean, the chorus. I guess it was the chorus. The bit where it's going, don't even keep it.
The chorus is like, oh, we've got.
Oh yeah. That bit. Sorry, that's the bit I mean. Yeah.
There's
One
a bit
of them,
repeat.
there's a really good guitar solo.
Yeah. I know that bit.
It's probably Buckethead because I'm hearing lots of kill switch and whammy pedal. It could be Bumblefoot imitating that though. And I was just surprised. I thought, what the fuck? I like this.
Yeah. You know what's funny on that as well is that because they play the title track now that they've reformed, and obviously Slash is with them now, and he says that he's really, really struggled with it because he's
not surprised.
It's not in his wheelhouse, is it?
No.
Like, it's completely different.
And it suits the band, that sort of guitar
I think so. The chaotic.
Yeah, but really fast, like way faster and cleaner than Slash tends to play.
Yeah, definitely. I remember this guy. I remember it as well when because we were talking about so much about how we were just done with his voice, and then because you talk about the intro and you hear the sample of that. And you hear him, and you hear him coming in. You're like a train that's really far away, and it's and I was thinking, oh god, here he is. And then he came in. I was just like, oh yeah, I remember this. And I was like, oh, he sounds good. He sounds good, and that's a relief. That's good. We ready to move on?
Yep.
We have.
Can I point out what my autocorrect put on my notes
for this next song?
It's apparently I typed Dacklet's Revenge. Dacklet's. But it's not called Dacklet's Revenge.
No, it's called Shackler's Revenge.
Yes.
Some crazy titles on this.
Yeah.
There's some very, very, very strange titles. So when I got this record, there's a point, and I'll go into it later, when I fell off. This was not the point. No, I really liked this one. When I was younger, I fucking really liked it. I really liked it. Again, some of Axl's best vocals in the verse. We'll get to the pre-chorus, but in the verse. So we have a friend. This is going to mean nothing. There's a friend called. We don't want to. Actually, no. I've said names in the past. They're called Rowan. They are called Rowan, and I used to do a thing to them where I used to grab them by the shoulder, and I used to really menacingly say the lyrics to this in their ear.
Which bit?
I used to bring me I got a funny feeling it's wrong today. And I was just like, this generally sounds kind of like, maybe not creepy is the right word, but it's got a vibe. It's got a vibe. It's got a very dark sort of theatrical vibe, and he sounds good. He sounds really in your fucking ear, like really deep, very guttural. And again, he's singing very well with himself. It doesn't sound muddy and unbalanced like he's done on other records, but this is mental. This song is fucking mental. It goes to the pre-chorus, and it's like, what the fuck is dance punk? It's dance punk, and then his vocals are like, okay, I'm not too keen on that. Everything's getting a bit too frizzy now, maybe a bit too industrial, and then you've got that ba 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 ba, which is fucking Mudvayne. It's fucking ba 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 ba. It's very new metal. And so it's these genres that are colliding, like, you know, like. But it is very entertaining. It takes so many fucking left and right turns that I'm like, okay, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. That you do end up being very, very, very entertained by it and engaged by it. And then the chorus comes in. And the chorus is so big. And it's so much. And it's so that for me, I couldn't help but be like, fucking hell, Axel, you really are. Like, there is something to this record where there is, like, you can tell, for better or for worse, he does have something to prove. Like, he is coming at it with an energy of, right, it's not just Appetite, it's not just these guys. I'm going to prove to you that it's not. And he's trying to throw every fucking thing, like, at it. Does it work? Does it not? I mean, it's difficult because I do like this, but it is completely disjointed and it is complete insanity. And then there's this solo, which is just complete. Like, I think it's Bumblefoot. I think it's just the slide, but it could as well be Buckethead. But again, it's so noisy and chaotic, and like, you're like, what the fuck is going? Like, it's very ramshackle. It's very all over the place. I do like it, but it's quite a spectacle. Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, I do like it. It sounds like not as much as you. I thought.
I do have a bit of a personal connection with this.
Yeah.
More than I thought I did, actually.
And I specifically wrote I might have liked this when I was younger. I think when I was younger I probably would have been more into this. It's a good intro. I just liked how heavy everything was sounding. It's heavily produced in a welcome way. Yeah. Honestly, I really like.
It's not like raw.
Yeah, they lend themselves to heavy production, big sounds, big noise.
Overdubs.
Yeah. I thought song-wise it wasn't quite there for me. It's sort of like,
not even a song, is it, really?
No.
What the fuck? It's just, here's a part. Is
this the one that's like... That's
it.
Yeah.
I mean, Axel sort of sounded like that. At least he's giving it some fucking... Whether you like it, but he's giving it 10. I think that's the thing, is that every section is on 10. Nothing is like stripped back.
Yeah,
and relaxed.
I did write for this one, not all of them. This one I do think sometimes less is more.
It's cocaine rodeo.
Yeah,
it's absolute cocaine rodeo.
I thought it almost had a bit of a cool boy band hard rock style that had come and gone. Do you know, a sort of like do you know, Larger Than Life by the Backstreet Boys?
Yes,
it's that sort of, and I mean that as a compliment, but I don't know if this is the best execution of it. I suppose it's that very heavily produced, heavy guitars with electronic production behind it too. You're right about his vocals, Alexei. He's really hitting the highs. I don't know how doctors hid his voices throughout this album. I can hear pitch correction, but that's fine. I've defended that in the past. I don't mind pitch correction.
They were all doing it.
Yeah.
It's not like a Paul on later Kiss records, is it? It's nowhere even close to that.
No.
You can really hear it with Paul.
No, but I will say he's got a different problem to Paul as a vocalist. He's got that problem a lot of vocalists have, where they have a very impressive range, but it doesn't mean they can sound good when they go up there. It's an impressively high note, Axel, but you've lost all tone. A lot of the time I feel that with Axel. That wasn't a particular point on this song, though.
You gotta give, like... Sorry, Karen.
No, I'm just... What were you going to say?
I was just saying, you just got to give him credit for, like, he's not phoning it on this one.
He's not.
He is throwing everything at the wall. And, because usually it just feels been so fucking lazy.
Yes.
You know?
Comparatively, that's the best way to view this album. It's so much better than the past 4 albums.
Oh, absolutely.
Alex, what do you think?
I think we're all in agreement that we really like this direction, though this is not the best execution of it could be.
Yep.
There's so many different breaks and changes and moving parts that it's a really fun listen to try and figure out what the hell's going on.
Very fun. Yeah. Very fun.
And I mean, every single time that I don't believe there's a reason hits every time. Like every single time it would come through, it'd be like, whoa, what a chorus. And it's so short. Like, it's amazing that he actually finds like a really good note, a really nice little melody, and it's like a tiny little bit that he just repeats very rarely throughout the song.
Yeah, you'd never see it coming, would you? Which is
Yeah.
Which like it just hit you like a fucking slap, like, because obviously I knew it, but you got that little break, isn't it? You know, tapping you now, ba 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 ba. What is going on?
I really like how this song plays with like, because one thing I like about Axl is that he does have all these different voices, and this one actually uses it to the best to benefit him of like the juxtaposition between them, like, works really well. So when he does go to that high place, it really kicks. And of course, the first thing I wrote was like, oh, the 2000s, because the what I was talking about in the last one, the first 10 seconds of this were dun 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 dun, which again, very new metal, like we said, and then like it comes straight out of a PS2 like title menu sort of thing. Very, very of its time, extremely so, and we get more of it going on. So yeah, the same as what you guys said.
Fantastic. Next track, we've got Better. This is I think this is like a sort of a fan favorite.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite light. I think the mismatching sections do work. I know that's kind of like what's it called? A contradiction. Definitely a contradiction. It definitely doesn't go where you'd expect. Again, Axl though sounds very, very good. The breakdown, where it's like boom down now, boom down now, boom down now. It's like, I never wanted you to be someone with anger. Again, it now sounded him like this ferocious. You know, since Appetite, really, he sounds fucking on top. I mean, you do have that fucking new metal-y, like, delicate little industrial bit at the beginning. Oh, no one ever told us when I was alone. And that is a bit like, Axl, that isn't maybe not what you should be doing, but it is quite short. And then the verse is, there's something kind of sweet about the lyrics. I can't put my finger on what it is, because I thought that, like, with the sentiment of the song was more sort of about, like, you know, oh, I should have known better, and you're a bit. It kind of seems a bit more vulnerable than that. But then again, more insanity, more sections that just come out of completely fucking nowhere that you don't expect to be there. Some really great guitar solos. Some really great guitar solos. The breakdown's really, really fresh as well. Again, the chorus. Why that one? It's good. It's decent. But again, very, very quite perplexing. But in a positive way, like in a good way that I liked it. I think that these first three run of tracks fit nicely together as like a sound, but sadly I don't think after this point that sound isn't necessarily adhered to as much as I particularly would like. I think this is alright. Alex, talk to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. On first listen, I wasn't really into this one, and I was just like, oh, this is so far away from like Appetite, and so far away from like Guns N' Roses that we've had before, and I was kind of struggling to meet with it. But on repeat listens, like, this one grew with me and sort of listened to it on its own terms. And I don't think it's brilliant, but I think there's some cool stuff in here. This is like, yeah, one of the ones where I'm like, oh, there is that sort of, if you want to call it industrial, but more like grittier sort of like sound. I don't know how quite to describe it, but very different mood. And I say, yeah, it grew on me as it went on. Like, I quite like the ending portion of the song where there's like the harmonies repeating in the back, and then Axl's sort of like going over them. It's a very different sort of track, and that solo, Alexei, is awesome.
The solo's great.
They're saying it has a very different tone to it. Like, the recording, it sounds like a live recording in how it's put in. There's something about like the way it makes it in, which it stands out so much. And I on every listen, it always stood out to me. And so, yeah, this one wasn't one of my favorite ones from the album, but it wasn't awful to listen to. So yeah, it was okay. Danny?
No, I'm on board. Danny.
Bit more negative. I thought it was hard to imagine who this is for. I think it is quite different to the last two
It's very hard
tracks.
to imagine what any of this music's really.
I agree with that.
any of this
That's true,
music's
yeah.
for, is it? Like, because most hard rock fans aren't going to really be massively into it, other than just the name.
But it's about, well, I wrote, he just rocks out better, no pun intended, than he does serious stuff. And this song's just that bit more serious.
I get you.
And I wasn't headbanging. You don't headbang
when it's
to
more
this
like
one.
gibberish, it's kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think whatever fucking insanity this album is full of and just like moving parts and everything all at once works for me in something heavy. As soon as he starts
a bit more
being heavy.
po-faced, this is a bit
Yeah.
more... I get you.
It's and completely unlike the last two tracks. I can hear the strain
I
in his
suppose
voice.
because it lacks the pretension then, if it hasn't
Yes.
got the, like, we're not talking about serious shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is complete madness and gibberish that I'm singing about, yeah. There's
Yeah.
plenty of that left, though, on this record.
There
Some
is.
complete fucking nonsense.
I'm pretty
Very nice.
consistent, I think, yeah, that way.
Yeah, which is one of its positives. I'd rather just be complete insanity. Like, yeah.
The popish moments aren't working for me, like the chorus. No one ever told you. I don't like that.
Nah, I was like, that's not the vibe.
And I can hear the strain in his voice here on like the last two tracks. It's not for me.
Right, moving on. Street of Dreams. Right, this is where you need to put your foot down. Absolutely put your foot down. Nothing else in the world could have saved you. The emptiness inside. Right, so if you get lists of the greatest vocalists of all time, he's usually quite high up. I would take the beginning of this, show it to those people and say, you're telling me that this guy, this fucking guy, is one of the greatest vocalists of all time. This fucking guy is... I used to piss myself at this. Another thing I used to sing to Rowan as well. I would just kind of stop listening to the song at this point. This is one of the few times I've ever listened to it all the way through. I'd probably nominate it for the bin. It is very, very, very bad. This is kind of like what you're saying, Danny.
Yeah,
about the pomposity and the pretentiousness. It's like, 'cause we were on a good thing. We were on a good thing. We had a good sound. It was crazy in kind of the right way. It was fun. It was, dynamic. It was engaging. This isn't that. This is everything I hated about Use Your Illusions. It's pompous. I would maybe even nominate it for the bin if it weren't for the opening. Nothing else in the world could ever hear you. Ooh, only emptiness inside. Originally, I thought this is the most pompous thing I have ever heard, but no, not even on this record, because it gets more pompous at certain points, and then more pompous at certain points. That regal bullshit that he loves so much that I hate. So, I'm not good. Danny, what do you think?
I did, right. Axel, come on, man. You had it back for a second there. Like the first two tracks, even I had problems with them, but I was
Those
so with
are
them.
funny, though, so you can have that.
Yeah.
He's got that on his side. It's genuinely hilarious.
Street of Dreams is more funny than Better.
Yeah.
I thought it's okay. It's better than a lot of what we've had still. Maybe you wouldn't even agree with that.
What, on this album?
No, on...
Alright, orchestral nonsense, Alex.
Yeah, it's better than Illusion still, this sort of stuff.
Shorter.
I think the vocals...
Definitely shorter.
Yeah, and I think the vocals are impressive. Again, like, in terms of... I can't do
get over
that.
First hurdle.
Yeah, I can't do that with my voice, though. But it goes back to my last point about his vocals, that just because you can go up there doesn't mean you should. Cleaner shred than Slash could ever give us. I like that.
Do you think that sounds like Good Mate? No one say that to him.
No.
That sounds like Good Mate.
He's surrounded by yes men.
Kermit the Frog. Nothing else in the world can ever save you.
I thought it's not bad songwriting. Close.
It's a bit more. I don't know.
It just
it's
comes
less boring.
I think you said something similar already, Alexei. It comes across as just wanting to prove he can pull this sort of thing
there's better examples of that on this record.
Yeah.
Than this.
Maybe I'm being unfair to it. No, it's a shame though. This one, Alex.
Yeah, well, for this, I mean, we get the return of the Guns N' Roses piano, which is like plagued so much of
not good.
Not good.
Albums.
I didn't see a fucking piano for an entire record, and then 3 tracks. Like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. So as soon as that comes back, I'm like, oh god, here we go. And then like the first chords he start playing, he has these chords that he absolutely adores when it comes to the piano, this sound. So my expectations were very low, and then the singing in the first half is as you guys said, it's ridiculous. This track does pick up towards the end. I think when he goes to higher range, I think it sounds decent, and kind of what Alexei was saying on previous tracks, like he's giving it more. He's definitely really trying to impress.
It does positively contribute to the narrative of this being this bloated, hilarious masterpiece. Definitely the concept of it and the fact that its existence is on here, does positively contribute in that regard.
Yeah, but even though like he's really trying this one, and they add so much to it, what comes out at the end is this very middling, very 2000s sort of thing again. Like this is the first track which has a lot of what I don't like about this album, which is like these string arrangements, which
a lot of that,
which amazingly sound so cheap. Like the way they're introduced into the track is very like, I don't know, like someone like using a keyboard is like putting it through, like just it doesn't sound like they're in a room or they're really adding to the piece. It sounds like it was done after the fact. And this is the first track where it does it. That's and many of them have this exact same thing. So I'm going to keep coming back to that. So I don't think this is like as huge an offender as some of the stuff we got from Use Your Illusion, which, you know, this is very much from that style. But it's still, it's not very great.
Not good. Oh, Danny, there's a black widow going towards your cock. Let me just get it for you.
Get it! Ah! Ow! Ah! Ah! Got it.
Okay, so let's...
Ow!
Oh, God. Bleeding all over the bedspread.
It's really late for Alex.
It's wasting time. Right. If the world could ever end. That is the next track. It sounds like a fucking FIFA loading screen, most of it. Awful vocals again. We're just getting too high, man. Too high. Just bring it down a bit. Too high. Annoying. Very dated. Very 90s. This suffers from the dated thing, I think, quite a bit. It's 2008, man. 2008, man. Probably shouldn't be on here. I got very little out of this one. He's very annoying. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, this one, the thing that always kept coming to mind is like the late 90s, early 2000s James Bond themes. Like I know a lot of them were better, but there's something about the strings, that, like, those drums,
crazy,
and that way
the
of
Pierce
singing.
Brosnan era James Bond.
Yeah, I couldn't pin what it was exactly. Whether it was the drum loops.
If the world sounds like a Bond film.
Yeah.
If the world sounds like a Bond film, like the world is not enough.
Maybe they were hoping for that gig.
Yeah, maybe they wanted that. Yeah, because they probably recorded it when Pierce Brosnan was still fucking James Bond.
Was one of the songs not attached to a James Bond? Wasn't Live and Let Die? Oh shit!
No, mate, that was the cover. The McCartney version.
But wasn't the cover also used?
I don't think so. Because Paul McCartney wrote it for the film Live and Let Die.
But
rest in peace.
Yeah, but again, like for this, it's it doesn't even come off as like one of the good James Bond sort of style ones. It's kind of irritating, and when Axel's not singing towards the end, it sounds like this is all right, but him over this type of beat, it's not what I want. And this one's long 5 minutes.
Oh, it's really long. Yeah, it's really long.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting move with the guitar and all that, but yeah, a bit of a miss. Danny?
Yeah, it started and I was very much in the Kiss, like, why not feeling. I was like, again, like not like the hard rock stuff's always working for them. Let's try this sound, but the vocal bends. Alexei focused on the pitch, but it's the bend.
Yeah.
It's like Gene Simmons on Blackwell, Mr. Blackwell, but just a few octaves higher. Just the no, not a good song. Alexei's googled Roger Moore.
Yeah, I was checking whether he's actually dead.
He's dead.
Is.
Yeah. Alexei's gone. He's gone. Yeah, Alexei ran away.
Rest in peace. For Roger Moore.
For Roger Moore.
We'll dedicate this episode to. Okay, so next track. There was a time. You have to have the ego, the size of a planet, to write a song like this.
Oh, there was a time.
There was a time.
Oh, this one.
Fucking, it's poor, huge levels of massive.
Yes.
It's enormous. It's enormous. There's loads of sections, and there's loads of sections that I like quite a lot of it, but there's loads of sections I fucking cannot stand. But I tell you what, some of it is just dismal, but it's quite hard, particularly in the second half, to not get swept up in it. There's so much overdub, so many things going on. There's Buckethead solo is great.
At the end?
Yes,
yeah, really good.
Fantastic. Fucking brilliant.
But he won't let him get to it. He won't shut up.
He's just still going. He's still going. But, and I think that actually Buckethead solo is up there with some of Slash's best stuff that he ever did with Guns N' Roses. It's very, very, very good. Like, again, the energy and the, I've got something to prove and I'm going to throw everything at it. And he is. Everything's on 10 and he's throwing everything at it. At the end, mixed results a little bit. And this is a proof. This is a mixed result. This is a mixed bag. But it is massive. And it is hard not to get swept up in it. I think one of you guys mentioned when we were talking about November Rain, the impressiveness of it. And that, even though it wasn't a great song, there was something about that was quite quite susceptible to get kind of wrapped up in the hysteria of it. I felt that a lot more with this track. I mean, this track has some truly great bits of musicianship on it, some truly excellent moments. And there's some moments where the video goes, "It's a long time for me, it was," and I was like, that doesn't need to fucking be there. Just give bullshit pre-chorus thing that never comes back, and then the intro's not great either, and but it's a song of two halves. It's an interesting one. Alex, what do you think?
I think I agree with pretty much everything you said, Alexei.
It's insanity.
There's so much going on. It's absolute madness. Let's say the arrogance, the ego, to have a song like this. But I think this one ends up being my favorite of these sorts of songs on this album, because there's a few, freaking epic, just overproduced, overbooked, sort of songs. I think we're going to get a few more coming up very, very shortly. And I think this one ends up being the best, partly because of that solo you were talking about. Amazing. And then that plus we get the actual screams towards the end. Like you say, just how much they're throwing at you towards the end of the track. I was like, on a few listens, okay, you got me here in just the sheer audacity of it all and just the grandness. It might be a cheap, way of achieving that, just literally throwing everything and the strings and the solo and the screams and everything. But it did work. And I say this ended up being one of my favourites overall in that sense, that it managed to get that emotion out of me. Danny?
Yeah, I agree on the outro. The outro's really good.
Undeniable, though.
But it takes too long. Like I said, Axl just is going on, and he's not good in the outro, his vocals. But finally, he likes, I assume, Buckethead.
The chanty chorus bit. Well, it was a time.
No.
Not sorry.
Until the outro, I was writing, I'm not getting much from this. All the strings and high-level production are certainly better implemented than Illusion. But, okay, so now I'm just focusing on the song, and I'm just not liking it much here as a song until the outro at least. It's interesting that they put the two songs that are most heavily electronic beat driven next to each other on the album. Well, this and the one before it.
There's one more, potentially. Named after a popular franchise.
But yeah, he's singing his heart out in the outro, and impressive as it is, I just wish he'd let the guitarist solo. And I was feeling it once.
Chris Rock.
We did get more solos, but there's still too many vocal bands, like the last track. Too many vocal bands.
A lot of vocal bands.
You can have a few. You can have a few.
No, it's too many, Matt.
Too many. There are like I think I don't know. I think there's maybe like 80 vocal tracks on this.
It's gotta be a few.
Fucking loads. Fucking loads. All right. Catcher in the Rye. The Catcher in the Rye again. Bin has to go in the bin. This. It's absolute rubbish. Absolutely, this has got to be the most pompous thing he has ever made. But then later on, it gets more pompous and more regal. This side of it is just, bin. Has to go in the bin. Has to. Oh, pardon me. Danny.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't write bin worthy.
It's very bad.
I put loud ass bass guitar in the intro. The bass is so loud.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a banging chorus with an intro like that.
And you got the Catcher in the Rye.
I thought, was that it? Was that it? Was that the chorus that I was waiting for? Like so many times before, not just Guns N' Roses, Kiss also, I'm bored until a pretty sick ass solo comes along and then it's gone. That happens time and time again. I think with this one, broken down into a more simple arrangement and performance, there might be a good song here. But it's just so over. It's that overblown shit they've done again. They can't break it down in the way that they should. And they have to just throw everything at it. There's too many changes going on in this song.
Yeah.
If there was a catchier chorus, that would be great. But there's not.
Yeah.
But then it is, I think, maybe why I don't think it's bin-worthy is because it's a better sort of pop-ish, major key songwriting attempt than they've done before, at least post-Appetite. It's because they've tried to do this sort of thing on Illusion and it went even worse. I don't even remember the names of the tracks.
Estranged and
yeah,
November Rain.
Yeah, it's still better than those.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's better than those. I was putting it on par, to be honest, man.
Okay. Alex, what do you think?
I wouldn't say it's better than any of those songs. Like I think if it's the placement of this is so terrible because like there was a time which like I gave +4 for just being having so much going on and it's an exhausting listen and that's not entirely a bad thing. And then to get this where it tries a lot of very similar tricks in terms of what it throws at you and just the kind of epicness of it and just trying to get you through overkill. Every time I'd go through the album, this was always the wall I would hit. And it might be, again, because of placement. But I don't quite get what you're getting at, Danny, about like, there could be a good song in this one. I really don't. Compared to everything else we've listened to, I don't see how this one stands out in that sense. This one is one of the worst on the album for me. At least every time I listen to it.
So.
I feel
it's bin-worthy. It's so obviously not good.
I don't think it's bin-worthy.
Okay, then it won't go in the fucking bin then. Have it your way, you complete fucking cunt. Right, next we have Scraped. You're talking about vocal parts. When it came in, I was like, no, Axel, stop. But we're back, I think, to the completely batshit mental hard rock from the beginning. The sort of more Bucket. This was one of Bucket. Apparently, Buckethead was one of the wrote most of this. Wrote most of the music for this, and you can sort of tell. I think it sounds pretty good. There's so many funny vocal melodies on this album. There's so many funny vocal melodies on this album, and this is what I don't refuse. Nothing gonna stop us now. It's I like it. Again, I think the verses is pretty guns. It's pretty guns. Way better than the shit that's on User Illusion. I like this one. And again, though, but you look at some of the contributors on this record. There's some great musicians on this record. Amazing musicians on it. They've come together and are writing songs. So it would figure that this would be at least okay for the most part. That's the logical conclusion. And this is good. I enjoyed it. Alex, what do you think?
I kind of see what you mean, Alexei. I do think this is like the closest to Appetite we get from a song, but it's a very it's a very not toned down, but very simplified version of that. Like, yeah, with the riff going on and the energy, I kind of feel it, but there needs to be more. I think this is a bit of a one-note song, and this is one that I always found just a bit like, oh yeah, it's all right. It's got like, yeah, kind of a classic sort of riff, but there was nothing really special there. Every time the intro would catch me off guard. I mean, again, the arrogance of this guy. Like, I think
the intro is indefensible.
Yeah.
It's completely indefensible.
If you gave this to like someone like Caroline Polachek, who like I consider like, you know, the best in terms of like that sort of singing, like even she would struggle with something like that. Like, it's just so maddening.
I think it goes into what I was saying about there being the best vocals he's ever done and the worst on this record. And this would be the intro is somewhere on the worst end.
Well, yeah, I don't have much to say about it. I think it's just a bit one note, and I wanted more from this one, especially with, you know, the amount of, I don't know, guitarists they had working on this thing. Like, this is one that folks could have jumped on and done crazy stuff with, but we don't quite get it.
What was all of that gay porn nonsense about?
I agree with you guys. I was really happy that we were back to some just heavy ass.
I don't think Alex liked it,
but he said some good things about the. I was just talking about one point.
I came across that thinking that in negative. I was very positive.
I agree.
So you can't agree.
No,
agree.
You both said the same. If you let me finish the point, Alexei, it's all very clear.
On, then. Just what I'm failing to understand is that I think that Alex was mostly negative, but I was more positive. So I'm struggling to see how you'd agree with both.
It's very good reading, Alexei.
The key issue is the dichotomy between my beliefs and opinions on the songs and Alex's.
You both agreed that this was a return
I don't think
to
we agreed on anything.
Well, you did. You both liked the sound that we were
you
getting heavy riffs again.
threatening me?
He says that, then he does a little smile.
You know what? You've had the fan for far too fucking long. I'm having it back now. It's gone to your head. Right, go on then. What do you think of Scraped?
I like that there were some heavy riffs again. The drums are really slamming. His voice just suddenly fits when they go back to this style.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and as much as I was defending the last track a bit, it's so much nicer to be back to this.
Chaos works well with Chaos, yeah.
And the chaos doesn't fit for a track like the last track. I guess that's what I meant when I said I think there's a good song in there. Maybe, because I hear some melodies I like, I hear some sections I like.
I don't refuse!
Right. Yeah. But here, I was head bopping, and I didn't even realize I was, but I was like, oh, look at me, I'm actually like rocking out to this.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, you can just hear the bucket head on that one. Riyadh and... What is this title? This title is fucking insanity. What is it? Riyadh and the Badoons. Do you guys have any idea what that means?
No. I don't know what that
I haven't
means.
Googled it. I don't know.
No,
I can live without knowing what it means. This might be my favourite track on the record. The is annoying. That is true. But it's also quite funny, and I can take it. Again, the verse is very guns, and Axel does a good job. He sounds great. Again, the chorus, he sounds really good in the chorus. He sounds really, really good. Very, very, it's kind of beautiful, and Axel sounds really good. He is, I can feel it on this record, again, that he has something to prove, and in a weird way on this track particular chorus he almost sounds a little bit tortured, and I quite like that. It's almost like he's sort of lost in the insanity. It's almost meta in a way. What he's like, what he's talking about. I think it's really, really good. I think it's really, 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 really good. This track, I like it. Great guitar solo again by Buckethead. Fantastic. Danny, carry on.
It's slamming, which I like, but just simply I don't like the note choices. I feel like this album, at a lot of points, it's experimental and generic, all in the wrong places. So we'll get something that's very by the books in terms of its, I don't know, timbre, but then it's like these very weird experimental note choices, or vice versa. I just don't. I wasn't feeling this one as much as I wanted to, because, like I say, at least when it started with the insane vocals and everything, I was like, hell yeah. To be clear, still much better than the past 4 albums. This sort of thing.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
take
good.
it.
It's good. You can take it. Yeah,
as a try.
It's
as an
biting in it.
Yeah,
it's got a little bite to it. Apparently, it's a conspiracy song. There's a quote somewhere where Axl talks about Riyadh being his former brother-in-law, who apparently who is an international arms dealer who causes war. Honestly, I think Axl was out of his mind when he wrote that. It's a good song, though, in my opinion. Not sure why it gets so much hate. Does it get hate? Does it? Did not know that. Alex, what do you think of Riyadh? And I don't even know how to pronounce it. This song. What do you think of this song? I like this one a lot. My salvation.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of Danny there, where there's a lot I like about it. Mainly the messiness of it, and messy in a different way from what we were saying about the earlier tracks in terms of just they're throwing all this stuff together, but just like the franticness of the guitar and the solo and Axl singing. So I like that, but again, and it might just be the way it all came together and how they recorded things. It didn't really mesh as much as I wanted to.
Yeah, I agree.
It fun, but not one that I would really praise. So yeah, next.
All right, next we have what? We've got Sorry.
It's not your job, that, mate.
Well, if you'd been in the fucking room, I wouldn't have taken over. Wandering around the apartment while I'm sad.
Got to do a bit of spring cleaning. This place is a pigsty.
It's alright, because it's only 5 p.m. here, isn't it? So we don't really have to worry.
Nah, we're good, brother.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know what to say, man.
I'll go.
I don't know what to say, man. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Bin, but I'm also kind of like under the rose.
No!
No! Not sorry for you. It's so like passive aggressive old man.
It's so bitter.
It's so bitter.
Yeah.
Passive aggressive. I'll kick your ass. I don't know that I would. You know, talk about his worst vocals, possibly his worst vocals.
Really bad.
They are shockingly bad. It's shockingly bitter old man. Now see here, young man. Fucking see here. Look at my balls, young man. It's just really
just
bad.
Like you say, look at my balls.
Really bad.
And it's seemingly in response to like backlash and stuff and media.
I thought it might be about a previous member, but I don't know.
Or that, yeah.
Or backlash.
No, you're probably right.
Backlash, yeah. There's nothing worse than songs about backlash against you in the public. Name a good one. There is not one.
Screamed by Michael Jackson, but once I knew what it was about, that changes it.
That
changes it once you know what it's about, but it's a slamming track.
Yeah. it goes hard, but no.
Yeah. It shows that you can't...
Leave me alone.
It's
not the one, isn't it? I think, isn't it?
Is that...
Just leave me alone.
Is that what, I guess that probably is about
Maybe
it. I don't know. Anyway, we could keep talking about MJ.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I just thought this song...
Not sad he's dead.
This one started and I thought this is going to be long. He's doing a fucking silly voice.
Beyond silly.
Yeah. He's like doing an accent or something.
I'll kick your ass. I know that I would.
It's maybe... No, it is the worst on the album yet. I think it's definitely the worst yet.
No.
I think it's...
I don't think it's as bad as Catch and Right. I'm very perplexed by it, though. Like, you know when you're talking about vibe, like, when you're like, who's this for?
Yeah, who's this
Who
for?
on earth is this for?
I'm sorry for you. What do you mean, who is this for?
Who's it for,
like,
who is this for? You tell me this song.
Butt rock was such a popular genre in the 2000s, right? There were so many bands.
This is not Nickelback.
This is so that band. This is so that sound.
It's not. Disagree.
Alex, tell
disagree.
us why we're wrong.
It's not a brilliant song, but I think it's better than a lot of songs on here because it is like one of the maybe the only song.
Fuck, man.
Maybe the only song where it feels as though the whole band are actually like together. Now I don't know if that's just like smoke and mirrors, but this is one where I'm like, oh, the drummer's in the same room as a guitarist, and they create this together, and there's like a very clear progression and dynamics, and it's not thrown together. I don't like this kind of song very much, but this was very clearly like a more finely not constructed, but just like more put together song than so many of the ones we've had. I find this a more enjoyable listen than like the last, kind of like the last track. Definitely more than Catching the Rye and what was the one with the weird guitar? The James Bondy sound one.
If the world could end.
Yeah, If the World, yeah. I think that song's much more. Sorry is more enjoyable listen than those. That's all I'll say.
All right.
And the solo's good. I like the different style of solo. The kind of more bluesy one. I think because it stands out so much on the album. All right.
Okay. IRS.
Alright.
Oh, bin. Did we decide on the bin?
I guess not. If Alex...
Well, I didn't. I think fucking Catching the Rye should go in the bin. Undeniable.
I think Catching the Rye is more bin worthy than that. I'm sorry.
I'll give you this song if you give me Catching the Rye.
No.
We all have to.
The
agree.
bin should be more unanimous.
It has to be unanimous, doesn't it? You're right.
The album's just too good.
It's too good. IRS. It's all over the place at the beginning. It sounds like Bitch by Meredith Brooks at the beginning. Re-listen to it. At the very beginning, it sounds just like the intro to Bitch by Meredith Brooks. What a banger. Again, though, I don't really kind of get what it's going for, but it's kind of an interesting... It's kind of like an interesting
It's a weird
song.
one, isn't it?
I'm not really sure what's going on. His vocals do sound a bit rough on this one, a little bit tired, but there is an aggressiveness here. The ending's mental. I think that's mostly just Buckethead that's doing a lot of the lion's share of the work. But for a lot of this album, like I said, this is a good lineup, and by the end of a lot of these songs, particularly the more crazier ones, and this included, I was banging my head a little bit and being like, it kind of rips a little bit. It's good. It's good. I liked this one. Chorus was good. I like that. Again, complete nonsensical fucking lyrics, but I'll take it.
What's it about?
No fucking clue. Wait, I'm going to call the IRS, going to call a private eye, and then the president. There's one deals with taxes. One is the president, and the other one is a guy you'd get to follow Slash around and kick him.
Is it making fun of people who complain about stuff? That's what it sounds like.
Oh, yeah, but are you complaining? Well, radical
yeah.
He's the one to fucking talk about people fucking complaining. You fucking joking? Jesus Christ.
It might be my favourite on the album.
It's good.
Yeah.
It is good track.
Yeah.
It's a good track. I like it.
Because, well, I wrote, when it started, I was like, I'm getting tired now. I was at that point in the album. It's not in a great point.
Yeah. The length is difficult, but sorry, it's a bit of a tangent. But when I first saw the length, I was like, an hour and 10 minutes. You fucking taking the piss. It's actually, I think, their second. If you don't count, if you count just studio albums, not without the cover album or whatever, it's their second shortest record.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. And it didn't feel as long as like Hot in the Shade.
No, I agree.
Because at least there's more happening.
Yeah.
I do like it's a common chord structure. I like it. The one in the chorus. The processing on his voice is too much. I was especially hearing that here.
I heard it on this one as well.
I don't know if it's pitch correction or what. And it grew on me, this one. The solo rocks, the really ascending riff, again, that chord structure in the chorus. And the super high note that he hits over a wicked solo is the first moment on a Guns N' Roses album that I have, like, really fucked with hard since Appetite. That's the highest I've been since Rocket Queen, listening to a Guns N' Roses album. There's a bit where he hits such a high note and whoever's shredding underneath. So for that alone, and the fact that I do think it's one of the catchier choruses, maybe a bit like what Alex said about the last... Well, no, not quite. You were saying it's like they're in the same room, but it's not jumping all over the place
This
as
felt
much.
this
this
felt
time.
more cohesive and
Yeah.
a bit rawer, but not like raw as in like it's still sounds very processed and overproduced. Still does sound like that, but it sounded a bit more rough and ready than the other ones.
Yep. And so I like this one, Alex.
I'm very surprised you guys are so positive on this one. I think it's fine,
it's
but it
good.
feels this one felt very much like a kind of song we would get on Use Your Illusion. Not so much like obviously the quality of the singing and solo is a bit better, but just sort of like a very rambly Axl song and a sort of just I don't know.
I'm suspicious of the lyrics. I'm suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That this to me felt like a very much like, oh, this is kind of like a very like throwaway Axl song. I agree that like the solo in particular like lifts it up a bit, but I don't think there's enough meat on here. It felt like it was one of those Use Your Illusion songs that were like that stretched out a bunch. I thought it was just fine, but nothing special to me this one. And again, it's hindered by at what point of the album. It is.
Yes. Let's talk about a song named after a DreamWorks.
A famous property. Let's talk about Shrek. The song Shrek.
By Guns N'
Roses.
He's a big green man out in the swamp.
Now this is the song
2008 YouTube video parody or something.
That's awful. Oh God, imagine that. Fucking
Sorry.
terrible. Madagascar. This is so long. This track, it's really long. It's like 5.5 minutes, and the Martin Luther sample is unforgivable.
Not good. Really not good.
Unforgivable. Not. Do not earn it. I don't think even.
No.
The opposite. There's not like the short change. They're like they're in debt. That's how little that they have not earned it. Like musically though, I think it's one of the better things they've done with an orchestra. That is not saying much, but I think I'll leave it at that. I think that the Martin Luther sample tells you more than enough, and it is very long and it drags.
Yeah.
Very long and it drags. And I think it's amazing that Axl, again, we talk about the ego, would sample himself doing spoken word over Martin Luther King at the same time is pretty fucking ballsy move. Pretty fucking ballsy. But again, you talk about this product and its legacy and the narrative behind it. It's on brand.
Yes.
Definitely on brand.
Yeah.
It's definitely on brand. Whether that's a positive or negative, take it. But yeah. Alex, what do you think of Madagascar, the popular film starring Ben Stiller, Chris Rock,
great
Jada
time.
Pinkett Smith, not to mention the Penguins in Madagascar? What a team!
This one was the most James Bond sounding one. Like that I'd say we've had a few, but this one was. I could see it in like a James Bond film trailer. I'm not a big fan of the sound, and this one it's going for this big epic feeling. But I don't feel it whatsoever with this one. And the idea of Axl using MLK and Braveheart like samples, clips in his song.
Braveheart sample in it.
I saw that one.
Is that in
There's
it?
a few clips from Braveheart in his.
That is fucking insulting, man.
What the fuck is the song about? I guess it's about freedom, isn't it? Freedom.
Oh my God!
And not to mention the Penguins in Madagascar running riot all over New York City.
I'm so sorry.
It's a really bloated song and very very boring as well. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I thought at the start, like, fuck. I think we've had like a bit of a second wind here. Like, we've had a bit of a dip, but we're coming back with this the last track.
Very peaks and troughs, this record.
Yeah, and I thought his rasp was working here. Obviously, I'm going to talk about how the solo was killing it. But towards the end, and especially all the way through the second listen, the arrangement is just too over the top with all the strings and the drums. So although on the first listen at the start, I was feeling it a bit more. I mean, of course, the speech sample is way too much, and it's completely
yeah.
And by the end of the second listen, I was just thinking, way too self-important, which is probably you can apply that to a lot of this album.
Yeah.
Lest we forget the penguins, the jesters of the zoo.
So fucking late.
Okay, this I love. This is the most pompous thing I've ever
Bin.
done, and I'm going to stick my flag in that. Said it about loads of tracks this far. I think this is it,
Yeah, fair.
and it should go in the bin. It is regal. It's pathetic.
Yep.
Fucking it's the masked ball music.
I agree.
Fuck off. I think bin.
All I wrote was illusion shit.
Illusion shit.
Yeah.
The worst thing about this album is the illusion shit. The orchestra, piano. The worst thing about all their records that have an orchestra and a piano is the fact is that. It's the worst thing about all those records.
Some part of him just loves this crap.
It's Elton John. He loves Elton John. He doesn't even... Does he use an orchestra that much? I don't know. But he loves Queen. He loves Elton John. He likes piano and
they've got
orchestra.
good
Bombastic,
songs.
big rock. Apparently Andrew Lloyd Webber was a big influence on this
that
record.
fucking shows.
It's fucking tracks.
Yeah.
Fucking tracks.
No.
Absolutely.
Put it in the bin. Alex,
I
what do you
think
think?
bin.
Yeah, it goes in a bin. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, alright,
Okay.
right. Putting it in. Putting it in.
Yeah, this is
Finally,
awful.
we
It's
agree.
it's really bad.
Yeah,
It's a really
there's
tough listen.
There's no defending this.
It's a really tough listen.
Really tough.
It really is.
I don't know why.
Yeah, Prostitute. I basically forgot about most of this. I think it's okay. I think it's just absolutely fine. I ain't got much more to say. Bizarre Closer had about 5 different, potentials for a closer, really.
In this song alone, there's about 5 different
Yeah,
songs.
but then it kind of, at
Yeah.
the end, ends on a bit of a whimper, this record, in many ways.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
tough.
I quite liked that. I put perfectly nice string outro. I quite liked that. Why not?
Yeah, that's not
No.
bad. I guess maybe you'd expect something this fucking jacked up and
Yeah.
roided to maybe be a bit more. But not bad, not bad. I'll take it. I've heard worse things. Again, very mismatched all over the place. Fucking crazy bollocks. But yeah. Danny.
Yeah, it starts and I'm going, yeah, give me that big emotional ending because it sort of acts like it's gonna do that.
Yeah.
But then as it goes on, I was just the emotional piano with the electronic beat and his voice. I was laughing a bit. It's just a little funny.
It is, yeah.
That sound.
Yeah.
It gets boring. It gets pompous. And then it's suddenly huge, and I quite liked it. And I thought there was going to be a sick guitar solo, but it was just like one lick. And then it went back to being all emotional again. And then the energy comes back again. But there were just too many fucking chords, and I was laughing.
It's almost
at it.
like, in a way, it sort of encapsulates this album.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a very
It's
weird,
a
very
microcosm of this
microcosm
album,
of this
yeah.
album. It's like it's taking you, bringing you back
Yeah.
in, taking you,
Good
bringing you in.
bits.
Good bits, bad bits.
Finally, at the end, we do get a nice solo, and it is killing, like so many solos on this album. I don't know if it's Buckyhead, Bumblefoot, or Tobias.
Who's that?
What was he called?
Who's that?
Huge Tobias.
Oh, who's that? Don't we mentioned him.
And then there's a really nice string outro that I'm going to defend. Alex?
Yeah, I think we agree that this is just a very disappointing last track. This, like, for so much of this album to be like them just going huge and epic and just this really, like, these really big crescendos. And then this, they try too much and they try to do too many things. Yeah, it's all over the place and then ends up fumbling all of it. I find, like, it's not, the emotional pull's not there, or even just like the big climax. This one was quite, I don't really know what to say about it because nothing really works. And I just kind of wrote that, it's mad that this is like the end of Guns N' Roses here and how far removed it is from.
They've put
Appetite.
tracks out since this. Oh, they put tracks out since this that are, and I
don't
mean
know.
this, awful. In like the worst. You think there's anything off any of these records that really bad, particularly one called Absurd.
Check it
Very
out.
bad. Alex, you finished?
Yeah, but just I just never in this whole album got into the like piano, electronic drum,
Yeah,
and like string combination. and this track is just filled with it, and it never hit for me.
It always music like that to me always sounds like free music you'd get from like Microsoft, like in the early 2000s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Electronic drums, a bit of strings, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. Like just free instrumental music.
Yeah,
that
good
came with,
stuff.
like, Windows Media Player.
Good stuff.
Good shit. Right, we ready to go to final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this.
I just realised I didn't write anything. I think
No,
I
I
agree
didn't.
with
No.
it's a bit of an unreviewable album, I suppose.
In many ways, because there's lots of things about it, to tell you the truth, guys, that I really like about it, and there is this energy to it, like I was saying earlier, about like he feels like he generally does have something to prove. I mean, it does sound like in the background he has been incredibly lazy in many respects, but in other respects, I think he's been incredibly diligent and has been a perfectionist on this record. And I do think, in terms of energy, I'm going to throw every single thing at this fucking record, and I'm going to bury it. And I'm going to completely bury the old lineup. I'm going to bury Appetite. And this is it. This is my statement. I do think that is credible and admirable. That is what he attempted to do. And the result is it is insane. A lot of this record is very, very crazy. Had the tracks been more like Scraped, the title track, Shackler's Revenge better, Riyadh's and whatever that song's called, all that stuff. It'd been more the hard rock stuff. I'd say you'd have a really consistent, streamlined, really crazy, but there'd be a sound you could hang a hat on and be like, you know what, that is like the sound of this record. We don't get that, obviously. I think those songs are really good. I like a lot of them, but we also get these orchestral songs that we've done with that. I hate that aspect of them, and there's in abundance on this record. But then again, that does positively, in a way, at least aesthetically, contribute to the narrative of this being a really, 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 really insane album. And I do think that of the albums we've listened to, this might be one of the ones I've listened to the most, because I'm just consistently quite shocked by it. Quite like, why did you do that? It is definitely an ebb and flow, and it's an ebb and flow. It's a roller coaster. There's peaks and troughs in a positive, ultimately, I think, a positive way. Now that we're done with this exercise, I'm probably not going to have it on steady rotation as a record anymore. But I was like, this is like a really like it is a really crazy listen. And for me, for it not never really being boring, and for it being exciting, and also they feel revamped and having a good lineup and some great guitar solos, and I think the heavier cuts, great. Axl sounds the best he has done in years. Definitely some of his stuff is up there with the best stuff he's ever done vocally. He's back with an absolute vengeance on this one, and I respect his what he was trying to do, but 13 years worth, do you factor that into it? Is it 13 years worth of work? Nothing is 13 years worth of work. No piece of music I think you can listen to and say that was worth 13 years. Or an album was truly worth 13 years. I'd be like, they took them really to, it just isn't. But, you know, maybe it's more complicated than that. It probably is. I'm probably dumbing it down a little bit. But for me, number 2.
Easily, no question.
It's easily number 2. Because the parts of it I really like. It's much better than a decent covers record. It's way more interesting. It's way more of a statement. It absolutely has to be.
Yeah.
Its low points are probably lower than that covers record for me, but that doesn't matter. As a product, as a whole thing, it's an interesting, engaging listen. If not, it doesn't always succeed. But it is. It's certainly. It's a shot in the arm. It's happily number 2. Alex, what do you think?
I'm really glad this album came out and we have it, because there very much easily could have been a world where this album never got released. Yeah.
Definitely.
Cycle, and for that reason, like, it is frustrating album in some ways, because there are parts of it, little chunks in like some songs. There are songs in here that I don't like, but there will be like 20 seconds where I'm like, oh, that's really cool what they just did there. He sang a really like cool note, or there's a cool solo, or a little effect or whatever, and that is scattered throughout the whole album. And all the songs, even the ones I kind of like, they're not great songs. There are parts of them that I don't like, for different reasons. So that makes it quite a frustrating listen, but also, like you were saying, Alexei, a very intriguing listen. And like, actually,
it's the
considering
chaos and the ego of it. It's the chaos and the ego of it is very, very exciting.
Yeah, and for an over 70-minute album, not like that hard to get through, compared to other stuff we've done, which is really amazing, and that usually album lengths really get to me. Like, it makes it really difficult. But this one, not a problem. You mentioned Alexei, about like, 13 years, what that means. For me, I think less about like how much time it took to make. I think more that this is the most expensive album ever made, and what that means. And like, in that sense, this doesn't sound like the most expensive album ever made.
I was gonna ask you, out of curiosity, you talk about the production and it sounding expensive. Are there any points where you thought, because there's some parts of this record that were taken from a session that was from like 10 years prior? Can you hear that? Can you hear an inconsistency in the quality? You can.
Yeah, I think so. Well, just style.
Style, yeah.
The electronic beats do not sound
Correct.
up to date. Yeah,
not at all. Not at all.
But yeah, in that sense, like, it doesn't sound, like the most expensive one. Like, there are some albums that I listen to, like the ones that come to mind of like the two most recent Beyonce albums, where whether or not they're your sort of thing, like the direction she goes in there, you can absolutely tell when you listen to them that like she's paying for like like when she uses an orchestra, it's an amazing sounding orchestra, and when she uses like a certain, she's getting the absolute best. And here there are parts of it where I don't expect the most expensive album ever made to have such a cheap sounding orchestra. Like, to me, that's like crazy. Like, there's something. And so that is a frustrating part of the album. But I agree with a lot of what Alexei said. That I'm like, it's a fun listen in a strange way, and it's a very interesting part of music history. And Axel does better. Like, there's still a lot of Axel in there. That's a big problem. But we get more of what I want from him in this. And
it's good listening. It's good listening to it now and not as a contemporary reviewer at the time, because at the time you would have to see.
I can't imagine.
Like, okay.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
There's all. Yeah, because it's all to play for now. But now you can sort of look at it retrospectively with hindsight and perspective as a piece of music on its own. But also you can argue that actually the 13 years maybe even helped it, because it adds to the very over the top, completely scatological.
The story helps it now.
Yeah, it does now.
When it came out, it didn't, but now it helps.
They work so like 13 years for it, and it's being put in front of them. But now you look back on it, and you're like, oh, that's mental.
Yeah,
completely mental.
I don't have much more to say on it. Danny,
where do you think it should go?
Oh, second. Yeah, I agree with that.
Number two, definitely number two, isn't it?
All I'll say, because you guys have covered it, I pretty much agree with you guys. This isn't really a huge disagreement with Alexei, but it's maybe a clarification. I actually think Axel doesn't deserve loads of credit, and I think he even says as much. Isn't there a quote where he was asked why is this not a solo album, and he said something like, because so many people have been involved in this is not my brainchild. This is the work of loads of musicians, and I sort of think that's its biggest credit.
Yeah,
I'm hearing Buckethead, I'm hearing Bumblefoot, Brain, all these musicians I like, and probably more who I don't know, who are shining on this album. And I'm sure Axel deserves some credit. I don't know exactly how much, and the more obvious bits are things like his vocals, which are very up and down. Better here than previous albums.
Maybe it's like masterminding the project.
Yeah, well, we could assume he was doing that,
You're right, though, yeah, you are right.
But then I will say, personally, for me, it's like, how much do I like this album? I do have to call it a bit of a failure, but only just personally. This is not an album I'm going to come back to, but, and I hope this sounds like a real compliment, I might come back to some tracks.
Yeah.
I might come back to some tracks on this, especially some of the guitar work.
Some of the funny vocal melodies.
Maybe some of the
100%.
funny vocal melodies, yeah.
Absolutely,
So, I think it's... Again, what's so hard to review is to remove it from its context.
Yeah,
Maybe you just shouldn't. You just shouldn't try.
You
Yeah.
can't. I would love to play this to someone that had no idea who it was or anything about it. I'm interested to hear what they
Yeah.
say about it.
I think Alex is right about, like, there are cheaper albums that sound so much more expensive than this, and that that is not to its credit.
No, it's not.
It makes me think of The Man Who Killed Don Quixote by Terry Gilliam. Like, I liked that movie, but actually it couldn't live up to its own legacy of how long it took to make the movie.
Absolutely.
So it's a similar thing to that, and I don't even like this as much as that.
Yeah. But, I mean, in a weird way, I think this is more successful than The Man That Killed Don Quixote.
I think it did better.
Well, I think this is more successful commercially, yeah, but also the fact that it played into the fact that it's like, oh god, this really is like an egotistical.
Oh, it's more honest in a way.
Mad, like
yeah,
it was more true to the story.
Okay,
whereas like Don Quixote wasn't like this masterpiece that went through like 1,000. You know what I mean? It was like, it was more like a movie he couldn't make.
Yeah,
and then eventually did make, but it's still just a movie.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, this
it doesn't read like this was some guy's tortured masterpiece.
Yeah,
it was a movie that he wanted to make and then wasn't able to.
Yeah,
and then finally could. Whereas this was like this represents the story very well in its music.
In a simple way, I just really like Buckethead. We get some sick ass solos.
Yeah,
definitely number two. Definitely number two.
I'll say that. We're locking it in. Number 2. That is it.
That
is every
it.
Guns
Alex,
N' Roses.
go to bed.
As just every single Guns N' Roses album, from Appetite to Destruction right through to Chinese Democracy. So just to read through the definitive. We've finally done it. We've decided objectively one of the best Guns N' Roses albums. At the bottom is GNR Lies. Number 5, Use Your Illusions 1. Number 4, Use Your Illusions 2. Number 3, Spaghetti Incident. Number 2, Chinese Democracy. And number 1, unsurprisingly, is Appetite for Destruction. Next time, we'll be doing a farewell to Guns N' Roses. We're talking about the aftermath.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not going to be talking about what every single that worked on this album contributed to the band. That would be a big fucking waste of time.
10's a bit much. Should we do a top 5 songs? We can do top 10 if you like.
We'll try 10. We can wheel it down. We'll do our favourite songs. We'll also decide. Probably not.
It's going to be a short episode.
Probably not. But then we'll also decide our our favourite. Yeah, we'll decide our favourite Guns N' Roses songs. We'll also decide what we think our least favourite Guns N' Roses song is. So what should we do? What should we sing? I feel like there's so much material of this record that we could.
I think title track.
Yeah, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
It don't really matter. Guess you'll find out for yourself. No, it don't really matter. Believe this thing of being for somebody else.
Alex wasn't singing.
I'm a bit conscious about singing. It's very late now in my apartment.